Killed the Song Early Award goes to me. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, I went live later than I thought I was, so I'm probably gonna save some of my better topics for tomorrow. Get some more boring shit out of the way tonight. Maybe play some games, do a little chill stream. We've got bigger stuff tomorrow though. Can you play who's Tori? I guess we have to check out apparently the commentary civil war has ignited. I've spoken to many parties involved behind the scenes. Big things are happening. Big things are happening. So I guess we'll start with that and then go from there. This guy's so fucking lazy, man. I tune into your streams and you're not even there. You're literally not like I tuned in today and you had to like I'm not hearing anything, and then you have to come back and remind the chat that you're not AFK. If you're having to remind your chat that you're not AFK every 2 seconds, then like something might be a little bit wrong. There might be like a little bit of a problem.
Vosh exposed.
All right. So let's check this out. Did he take down? Okay. So Chud Logic makes a video called "The State of the Commentary Community." Some terrible things happening, folks. I guess so. Augie and Connor, they're still doing their RFC Mania stream. I guess tonight's the last night. Connor shaved his head and looks like absolutely horrible. Looks like he's gotten a cancer diagnosis recently or something. Bad stuff going on here, folks. Very pathetic, sad stuff. But as everybody knows, it's over? Okay. It ended! It ended! It ended, Aiden! Okay. Alright. Alright, it's over! If it ended like a few hours ago. It's not like I'm covering it. It's a week later and I'm covering it. Connor looks horrible. Yeah, most people look horrible bald. To be fair to Connor, most people look not so great bald. It ended. Guys, is it still going? I don't know. I don't know. Is it still going? Beats me. Is it still going? So, as you all know, I think that, and people are going to be like, glazing Hassan. At this point, I'm going to start. Oh, Chud hit 50K. At this point, I'm gonna start, okay? Because it's just completely fucking insufferable. It's like totally insufferable. The other side, both sides are bad, guys. Yeah, obviously I have issues with both sides. Obviously, I've never been a fan of Hassan. I've reiterated that about like 20,000 fucking times at this point. Let me go reiterate it 10 more times. Like, obviously, I think he's dumb. Obviously, I don't like tankies or tanky-adjacent people. I think they're, like, very dishonest in the way they operate sometimes. But I tend to align more with his opinions on the Israel-Palestine conflict in some facets. And I guess that's now obviously branched over to, like, commentary discourse. And, yeah. You're late, buddy. All the gamblers had their money on Hassan. I was talking to some people in private about this, and I don't really use Instagram, so I haven't been looking at Ethan's Instagram too much. But like the quantity that he's like posting, like I used to say, okay, guys, you're kind of gaslighting with the "he's not well" kind of thing. But at this point, I'm becoming more sympathetic to that position because like every shitter that talks about him, he's like posting about them on Instagram, and this has been going on now for how long? It's well over a year, right? It has to be almost 2. I mean, in all seriousness, it really probably is never going to end because you're always going to be able to find someone that's talking about Ethan. It doesn't matter if like barely anyone's talking about him anymore. You'll always find someone that's talking about him and he'll post about it and it'll reignite the drama and it's never going to end. This will go on for 3 years, another 3 years. It's going to go on for another fucking 3 years at this point. It's never coming to an end. And Dioria's getting his bag off of this situation. I haven't watched his coverage too extensively, although I'm probably like going to disagree with the vast majority of what he says. The things I have seen of him, I have disagreed with. He seems to align more with the camp of, and this is something that really infuriates me, right? For a very long time, there's been a concerted effort to conflate a religious and ethnic identity with a political position and support for a nation state. An attack on that nation state, attack on its people, or attack on its supporters is conflated with an attack on an ethnicity or religion. And the ADL likes to do this dishonest framing, like if somebody goes and like kills two people, which they shouldn't, right? Obviously, it's not political terrorism, killing people without due process, et cetera, is wrong. But if somebody does this because two people are aligned with a political ideology, it will be worded, oh, they're killing Jews. The people that got killed, to be clear, were killed because of the political ideology and nation state that they had aligned themselves with. Okay? The guy, if the people in that crowd had been Christian, there could have been Christian evangelists in that crowd supporting Israel, et cetera, et cetera. The common factor that led to their deaths, which was unjust, okay, was their support for this nation state. But people will just go and conflate that with like it's an attack on Jews. It's an attack on Jews. And I feel like people, and then that has also like breached into the Ethan drama discourse where people are like they're attacking a Jewish creator. As far as I've seen, I haven't seen anybody. I'm sure there are. If you go to like, I don't know, fucking white nationalist Twitter. But to be honest, I've seen some like white nationalists that are more sympathetic to him in this conflict. I don't think I've seen anybody go after Ethan for being Jewish. They've gone after him for his takes or lack of relating to this conflict, his reaction to other people's takes in regards to this conflict, his wife's associations, et cetera, et cetera. And whether it's unjust or not, that's another conversation we can have. But let's not pretend it's happening because he's Jewish. That's not true. Okay? And anyone playing into that narrative is like insanely dishonest. Anyways, Chud apparently, after not speaking of this, because it is the most boring, I don't want to talk about the drama too much because it's just so fucking boring. It's been going on for forever. It's never going to stop. It's insanely boring. And spicy chat, everyone has obviously, Chud's audience has been a bit hostile to Nick in regards to this conflict. Started a lot with the Destiny shit. And now, okay, now I guess Chud finally said a lot of what his audience was thinking. So let's listen to this. I reached out to Nick, okay, just to be clear, so I'm not going to look super two-faced. Okay, I like Nick. I like Chud. I agree with Chud on this. I agree with Chud on this one. But I did reach out to Nick, and I did try to be, like, sympathetic to his perspective, because I hadn't watched his coverage too much. I tried to say, you know, I don't think Chud is, like, going after you as much as maybe it might seem. I don't think, I think Chud is more angry at the situation than like you as an individual, et cetera, et cetera. I don't, with that being said, I think Nick can tell and everyone else can tell. Obviously, I align more with like the Chud kind of Queeman camp of this discourse, albeit I have my criticisms of Queeman. Somebody brought to my attention, how little Queeman is covering the insanity of Dan Saltman on Twitter. I feel like Dan Saltman is like fucking insane. And I can't believe this Queeman guy, in the grand scheme of things, how little he seems to cover him. That's a story for another day.
Have you seen the...
We love Dan. You have no standards if you love Dan at this point. You don't believe in anything if you love Dan at this point. Okay, Dan is a fucking maniac. Dan is a lunatic. Dan is insane. And he's disingenuous. Dan is... I mean, how can you love Dan at this point? That's what I don't understand. How can you love Dan at this point? What is there to love about this guy? What the fuck is there to love? Every gripe, rightfully so, every gripe you have with the Ethan crowd is applicable to Dan.
ERFC mania stuff chud lol.
Yeah, I have. Pair of wretched has-beens desperately doing tricks for treats, like shaving their head.
He is a total liar and crashing out, but I find him okay. All right, I don't get this guy, man. I don't get this guy.
It's pathetic and wretched.
What is endearing? I guess redact.dev is a good pro. If you find that endearing, I guess. I don't know.
It started off and I could understand it a bit around, but like Connor shaved.
But this is the clip heard around the world. This clip has caused untold numbers of controversies behind the scenes. Bridges are burning. People are imploding. Okay. We're just getting started. For you guys, you're going to sit back. It's going to be great content. For people like me, okay, it is kind of hard. Because I do, as I've said before, and it's not going to make a lot of you happy, I do like Diorio. I do like Chud. I just think Diorio is aligned with a camp of people that just have really fucking horrible opinions on everything.
They're treating like a big joke. You look like a fucking...
Oh, sorry, my gains turned all the way up. My bad. Sorry. I'm sorry. The audio. You're
a total freak. You're a total freak retard. Shaving.
Can I commission an audio soy jack? The audio complainer? The audio's 1 decibel too loud. It's 1 decibel too low.
Your head for cash, and you're trying to act like it's normal.
Oh, you're right. You can't hear Chud. No, wait, it's too low. Wait, you're right. Okay, you could actually complain about the audio.
Like shaving their head. It's pathetic and wretched. Like it started off and I could understand it a bit around, but like Connor shaved his and they're treating like a big joke. You look like a fuck. You're a total freak. You're a total freak retard. Shaving your head for cash, and you're trying to act like it's normal. No, it's not normal. Unless you're willing to do the 20th stream sucking off Ethan Klein. Yes, I'm talking about you, Nicholas Diorio, okay? Dude, I saw some startup...
It's just banter, guys.
This clip, right? And Frogan, the stupid fat wench, I don't fucking like Frogan, right? But she said something about the ADL negative.
So please speak negatively about the ADL. Please, okay? I'm gonna regret saying this on stream in a few years if I ever decide to, like, pursue, like, some profession that in law or whatever. But please, for the love of God, please speak bad about the ADL. These people are psychopaths. The ADL are fucking, like, insane. Like, absolutely insane. They are not an organization dedicated to the defense of Jews, the defamation of Jews. If you want to make an organization, and this is a losing battle, by the way, because you can, like, easily, like, debate and, like, win about some of the very common misconceptions and myths spread online about Jews. The ADL doesn't really do that. What I've seen the ADL do, for example, right, a good example of this would be, oh, well, Jews really work a lot in banking. Well, you can then explain, yeah, that's true. That is true, but here's why that is. You know, historical circumstances limited Jewish people in Europe to certain professions, and over time, they excelled in these professions because they were limited to it and passed the knowledge on to their children, which put them in disproportionately into jobs relating to economics. Or Jews are in Hollywood. Yeah, because Jews, when the film industry was based in New Jersey and run by Edison or whoever, they were barred from certain jobs within this industry and went out west where they could find opportunity. And it just so happened that the film industry out west ended up excelling and overtaking the one in New Jersey. This is anti-defamation. But the ADL doesn't do that. The ADL dedicates their time to the conflation of anti-Semitism with anti-Israeli sentiment, which endangers Jews who live outside of Israel. And secondly, the ADL is just, like, in other areas, totally fucking insane. You wanna read something crazy? Go read Jonathan Greenblatt's letter to Iceland. Obviously, I'm not going to go too much into it. Obviously, I have very strong opinions. I'm against routine infant male circumcision, right? I don't think your religious freedoms should allow you to, you know, perform irreversible surgical procedures on babies because of what you personally believe in. because the babies are too young to formulate these beliefs. And if they decide to convert or didn't want this procedure done when they're adults, there's absolutely nothing they can do about it. But Iceland was going to outlaw this procedure if not medically necessary. And Jonathan Greenblatt wrote a letter saying, I know you guys aren't anti-Semitic, but let us consider for a moment that 25% of your industry is reliant on tourism. And even if you're not anti-Semitic, anti-circumcision policies align with neo-Nazis. Make no mistake, the ADL will broadcast that your stated beliefs align with neo-Nazis. And then would anyone want to travel to a country? Would anyone want to travel to a country whose views are aligned with neo-Nazis? Knowing that 25% of their industry was reliant on tourism, essentially threatening their economy. It's fucking insane. It's like totally insane.
That's the other problem with covering stuff like this as well, is you end up with total shitters like Aiden sniffing about.
What? What? What the fuck did I do? I didn't see this part of the clip. What are you talking about? This is the other problem with your civil war. I don't really have a side because both sides are so fucking disrespectful to me, dude. Both sides are so fucking disrespectful. I don't do shit. I'm nice to everybody. I'm a cool guy, okay? And look how I'm treated. Look how I'm treated by both parties. It's ridiculous.
Because he's like, might get mentioned, and he's there watching, ready to feel fun. Oh, did I get mentioned? Oh, let me just tell you.
That's true. That's true. Okay, that is true. Yeah, obviously I'm gonna care more if my name is mentioned. That is very accurate.
Let me just send you some info, Chad. I got some info for you, mate.
I was trying to help him. He was missing important info related to the stream, so I sent him some info. And he was like, wait, what is this? Chud talks about this clip, by the way, but doesn't play it. Okay, this is the problem with dramas like these. You have, like, little shitters like Queeman sniffing about that like to send you, like, clips and stuff. It's ridiculous.
I think it's funny that you think me being in the iDubbbz video is what's going to cause this harassment. When in reality, it's you, Ethan. You're acting like you haven't spent the last—
Dude, she looks like a fucking insane person with her, like, resting face. Dude, she's, like, sitting up there. She looks like absolutely, like, fucking insane. Like, totally crazy.
last year and a half doing everything in your power to push people to bully and harass me, including weaponizing propaganda organizations such as the ADL to get me banned off Twitch because I made a joke about you not being—
Weaponizing propaganda organizations such as the ADL. Wow.
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 Wow. Wow. Wow. Wow. Oh my fucking god. What the fuck, dude? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. What is
Who watches this shit? This is like total dog shit, bro.
going on? Are we just JQing on May now?
What? Huh? JQing on how? That is the most like. What are you talking about? When did that ever? When did she ever do that? Calling the ADL a propaganda organization is not JQing on Maine. The ADL, under the leadership of Jonathan Greenblatt, is an it might have always been. I think it has actually always been this way. But the ADL is a political organization, right? Just because their organization stated goal is against the defamation of the Jewish people, that's not their predominant interest. Is the defense of Israel in the political and social discourse. That is what they predominantly seek to defend. Weren't they proponents of the HIAS working definition of anti-Semitism, where under this new definition of anti-Semitism could literally be defined as like fucking anything. And then all of a sudden, you know, anti-Semitic incidents, which obviously you're going to see a spike in it doesn't surprise me. There would be like some genuine anti-Semitic incidents. But when you've changed the definition, every act where like a guy with an Israeli flag walks through a Palestinian protest and like some sort of like fighting breaks out or whatever, which shouldn't happen at a protest. Okay, by the way, let me be clear. They're going to count that as anti-Semitism. That guy's not being attacked because he's a Jew. That guy's being attacked because he's aligning with a political ideology that's like insanely controversial to the group that he's walking through. Like, it's like if I saw like a huge Indian nationalist protest and then go and like walk through, well, this isn't really comparable, but like, because India is also pretty fucking unhinged with their politics, but like walk through with like a Pakistani flag on my fucking back and got like attacked or whatever. That's politically motivated.
What's going on?
If you want to know who owns you, look who you can't speak against. Okay, they say attack a source or attack a claim, not its source. Just so you guys know, this is another thing. I would be like the greatest spokesperson for the ADL because I know all their all the fucking online talking points. That quote does not come from Voltaire. That quote comes from this guy called like Kevin Strom, who was a neo-Nazi that was convicted for possession of child pornography. I just wanted to throw that one out there. It's a very misattributed quote.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Stop. Stop it. She's JQing on main.
Check my oh, was I getting a dono? Sorry, I missed.
She's doing it.
Sorry guys, I missed some fuck. One sec. Let me give me a sec here. She's not. How is she JQing on? I'm very like confused here. Hopefully she goes on to explain it. I don't know if Stardust wants to have a conversation about this. Me and Stardust are on friendly terms. I know Queenman like despises her. I don't really watch her content, so I'm neutral. Oh shit, did I miss your dono, Bobby B? Just tell me what you said in your dono. I'm sorry, man. I missed it. I missed it. I gotta get better at that. If I miss your donos, guys, I'm gonna try not to. But if I do, just write what you said. I'll take your word for it. All right, I'll set a goal. All right, there we go. Nicholas Diorio lost the mandate of heaven. So true.
She's doing it. It couldn't be because it was objectively anti-Semitic. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's not a dog whistle, it's a foghorn. What was she thinking? What was she thinking? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What is going on? Oh my god.
Who watches this?
I'm downloading this video. I have to download this video. I cannot believe it's real. I can't believe she left it up. She left it up.
Did I miss context? What are they like? Are they referring to the ADL comment? Am I missing some like crucial context here? What has occurred that's worth saying? Oh my god! Wow! 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 Every like 2 fucking seconds. Yeah, I want to unhide Nico. I forgot to do that. Like, what context am I missing here that's like warranting this reaction? I feel like that like nothing's really happening that's like warranting any sort of reaction like this. Hold on, I'll unhide you, Nico. Just please don't try to be like a fucking shit stir, because I'm trying to get rid of that. One sec. I'm a reasonable guy. I don't like banning. Well, that's not true. There's some people I very much do enjoy banning. That's just a straight up lie. But just like be a normal fucking person in my chat and you can stick around. Okay? Where is he? Hold on. Alright, you're back.
She left up the video. She left it up. It still exists. It's public. It's public. The video is public.
Why
it's still
wouldn't she
on.
leave it?
I have to download this right now.
Okay.
Oh my god.
You know what? I'm gonna watch. I kind of just want to watch Frogan's video at this point. See if I'm missing something.
Hi, my name is Frogan, and this is the first time I'm ever.
God, I'm downloading this video. I can't. There's no fucking way.
I can't. I need to see what's worth this react. I'm sorry. I can't. What? Wrong video. Wait. Fuck. That's me. I'm watching me.
Hi, my name is Frogan, and this is the first time I'm ever making a solo YouTube video about everything that has happened the last year and a half. I address everything on my podcast, Arabs, which you can find the link below, but today it's just going to be you and I. I think the content was great. You know, I feel like Ian approached it in a way that nobody else does. He approached it with empathy, and, you know, it was supposed to make people feel bad for Ethan. One of the main things, especially as content creators, people tend to dehumanize us and forget that we're living normal people just like you. So obviously, with so much pressure on the internet, both on myself, and I'm sure Ethan can relate to this too, it's fucking hell. It's hard to manage. It's hard to deal with. So
I don't really agree. I don't think the content cop was great. I don't think it was like awful, but I certainly don't think it was great. I think there were like a lot of points that were, I don't even remember. You could rewatch the stream where I see it for the first time. I took some issues with it. Actually, I mostly took issues with it, but when some things were reframed to me, and people like to be like, oh, you changed your positions when it's convenient for you. No, not when it's convenient for me. I get things wrong. I'm wrong about things all the time. I don't do enough reading into certain things. So if I talk to somebody who's done more reading than me, who can make like a good, like adequate argument about why I'm wrong or about like a better position, I'll absolutely change my opinion on something, especially if it's something I don't feel super strongly about, like the iDubbbz Ethan shit, right? And yeah, people kind of laid it out to me that iDubbbz, the expectations that Ethan was placing upon iDubbbz were like pretty unrealistic, right? The problem with this drama is, if you have any nuanced perspective that seems kind of charitable to one side over the other, you'll be assumed to be taking that side and get attacked by the rabid people foaming at the mouth from either the Ethan or Hassan side. And I know this because I've made tweets that kind of are nuanced in both Ethan and Hassan's perspective. I made a tweet calling out people trying to like call Ethan's mental health into question, and I got Hassan fans, even though a lot of my tweets were pro Hassan in this drama, telling me that I was a fucking moron. And then I made a tweet, you know, talking about how Ethan was being unreasonable, or how I don't care about the creator class shit, and it was just a bunch of Ethan fans in my replies. So by Ethan asking iDubbbz to go and publicly make a statement about this, iDubbbz will be assumed, and he now has taken one side, but before he's even publicly dipped his toe into the drama, iDubbbz would have been assumed to have been taking one side and would have had to take everything that comes along with that. So I don't think it's unreasonable to want to sit this drama out. I don't think they're as good of friends as they were made out to be. And I don't blame him for not making a public statement in regards to this. And I was wrong to think he should have made a public statement. I understand why iDubbbz didn't at the time make a public statement.
I feel like Ian approached it in a way that was more so holding a friend accountable and in a softer way, and wanted to generate empathy for Ethan. Other people don't do that. And I've even said this before. I feel like we need to stick to the basics.
Why is the audio so out of sync?
To why Ethan Klein deserves to be criticized, and that is for being pro-Israel and trying to deplatform pro-Palestinian content creators. I think it's insane to involve his children and anybody else that really doesn't deserve the criticism. I think Hila deserves the criticism as well too, because she says some batshit crazy things on the podcast as well. And I've said this, and I'll say it again. If you're spewing pro-Israel propaganda, I'm going to call you out about it. I received a text asking to say something nice about Ethan, and to be honest, I thought about it long and hard because I was like, this man does not deserve anything nice from me. But I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. Maybe it'll give me some closure. So I wrote a letter to Ethan, and I read it off, and iDubbbz put it in the video, and this was Ethan's reaction to the video. I'm reading my letter off because I don't want to sound robotic. HBU is the sports figure that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to where I remember. You were one of the inspirations for me to start creating content, so all this has sung. I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
I think, listen, Rogan, she's so dumb that you almost can't be even mad at her.
She did wish was the best in the end. It almost felt like the nicest one of them
I think she was the only one being genuine,
Yeah.
actually. So I don't want to, whatever, just Rogan, just chill, okay? Just stop being an idiot, and I'll stop talking about you. It's really simple math.
She's also by far the smallest creator of the bunch.
Right.
I mean, is it even like cool that he included her? Like, she's just gonna get more shit for being involved?
It's not cool.
Also, the other thing, I don't know too much about Frogan, okay? Her comments, I hope you get PTSD if you're a US soldier. Obviously, I have a lot of respect for people who are willing to like risk their life to fight for principles that they believe at the time are good, even if I disagree with the wars that they've fought in. In those instances, I blame the leadership more than the lone soldier, and I'm talking about the US military, right? And I think her wish, obviously, I don't agree with what she said, but I wasn't like, wow, I can't believe she fucking said this. This is a huge deal that I need to crash out about for 5 months. Okay, I didn't really care that much. But like, if she's some like rabid Jew hater, wasn't like Ethan the one who cut her off? Wasn't she like willing to entertain some sort of like working or friendly acquaintanceship or whatever the fuck with Ethan, despite him like having an Israeli wife and views that were like sympathetic to Israel when this first went down? I could be like missing something or whatever. but like I don't think it's really true that she's some like rabid fucking Jew hater. I don't think that's true at all. Thank me for my service. I thanked you for your service. This is the paradox of Dust Bunny. This is a guy who's been in the army for a very long time, okay? He's seen combat. He's been shot, okay? And you'll see him on Discord trying to hit up the most, like, wretched E-women and sometimes E-boys, okay? Posting, like, cat gifs and being like, say hi to me, Aiden. Say hi. Talking like he's, like, some, like, fucking BPD, like, woman or whatever. It's not what you'd expect. It's really not what you'd expect. This is a guy that has more than likely taken lives. He's been shot. And he's on Discord all day, posting cat gifs and like hitting on wretched Who is this guy, man?
Cool.
And, like,
He knows what like this entails.
This part made me laugh because it was very tone deaf, and he's acting like half of his content nuke wasn't about me. Half of the content nuke, the entire ending half, was about me. So if I'm so irrelevant and so uncool to include, why the fuck was I in your goddamn video?
Like, Hassan can handle it, but like Frogan's now just gonna get a pile of shit on top of her that I have no control over because people are watching. Millions of people are watching his video, by the way, and they're reacting to it, and they're not having good reactions.
Not
to
just our audience.
it. Far from our own. Yeah.
I think it's funny that you think me being in the IDOS video is what's going to cause this harassment. When in reality, it's you, Ethan. You're acting like you have spent the last year and a half doing everything in your power to push people to bully and harass me, including weaponizing propaganda organizations such as the ADL. See me banned off Twitch because I made a joke about you not being able to say Habibi. But no, it's IDubbbz.
So,
One of the only
wait,
major creators besides Hassan who's
I'm
actually
sorry. That was it? Up to this point? I haven't seen like a single... And I'm not... I have to specify 800 times. Obviously, I'm not a Frogan fan. I don't know if anyone's a Frogan fan. Apparently, this person gets like 100 viewers concurrent on a stream. Apparently, we're comparable in like the relative size of our concurrent viewership. Obviously, this person is way more reach and influence, but I think that's solely due to Ethan. I think Ethan is the one that kind of like has allowed this person to get as much exposure as they've gotten. But what has happened so far, I don't even need to watch anything else. This is what Stardust had watched up to at the time that warranted the reaction of like...
I think it's funny that you think me being in the IDubbbz video is what's going to cause this harassment. When in reality, it's you, Ethan. You're acting like you haven't spent the last year and a half doing everything in your power to push people to bully and harass me, including weaponizing propaganda organizations to get me big about you not being...
Weaponizing propaganda organizations such as the ADL.
Wow.
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 Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my fucking god. What the fuck, dude? Oh my god.
What has happened so far that warrants a reaction like this? There's nothing happening here. Nothing that crazy has been stated. There's been nothing like crazy that's been stated so far. I'm sure she said shit that I would take much contention with. I don't follow her too much, right? But she has not said anything so far. She said some things I might disagree with a little bit, but she hasn't said anything here that's like what warrants a response like this. There's nothing here that like indicates to me that this person hates Jews. I don't see any evidence this person is anti-Semitic. I don't believe Frogan's anti-Semitic. I don't believe Hassan's anti-Semitic. I'm not sure about Bad Empanada. I know Bad Empanada is like potentially an insane person, but I don't even know if I'm not going to speak on that one. I haven't watched too much of his stuff, but like I haven't seen like really like evidence of like anti-Semitism from like any of these people.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. What is going on? Are we just JQing on May now? What's going on? Oh
What's
my
going
god.
on? What's going on? He's not anti-Semitic. He's just a radical agent against colonialism. So true. So true. All right.
Because it's the same as well, bro. Dude. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's why Aiden's nose is so big. Because the air is free.
Dude, what the fuck?
I don't know.
Okay, that Stardust. You want someone to react to? You want someone to say wow about, bitch? That would be it. Okay, that might be it. Stardust. We might need to call up the ADL over that one. We should call the ADL over that one.
What's wrong with me? Bro, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh, I'm basically just drunk. I'm the equivalent of being drunk operating a motor vehicle at this point.
The confusing opinion became a member. The confusing opinion celebrates 13.
Dan Saltman? Is Dan Saltman there? Queen, we gotta call him the Saltman, bro. This guy's gone too fucking far. This guy has gone too far.
Months of membership. Have you seen the RFC Mania stuff, Chud lol?
Yeah, I have. Pair of wretched has-beens desperately doing, tricks for treats.
True, Queenman was sweeping for
like
this
shaving
one.
their.
Queenman was sweeping for this one. The days of RFC are over. Okay, apparently Connor is moving out of Augie's place now, I've heard. I don't know what that's about. Apparently they're like, which honestly might be a comeback for RFC. Obviously, I'm friends with Connor, but I personally felt as though Connor is kind of like boring, like pretty boring. In like the old, maybe I'm used to the old crazy RFC dynamic. I felt that Connor's a little bit boring, so maybe things will be up from here. But he's right; it is totally has-beens. True.
Head. It's pathetic and wretched. I believe you participated, so you are also pathetic and wretched as well. Thank you for the membership nonetheless. Confusing opinion. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good time. Okay.
I hope your entire bloodline is erased off the fucking map. Okay? I hope that they, one by one, cremate the corpses of your families so there's no physical record of them, and then remove them from all photographs, both online, and burn the physical copies, and remove their records so there's no evidence that you or anyone associated with you has ever existed. It's just like banter. Just a bit of banter. Just banter.
Hey, dude. Augie realised he couldn't stream anymore, so he became a fucking loser to pay the bills, apparently.
True. Very true.
All banter. All bit of banter. Bit of banter, guys. A little bit of banter.
Just banter.
Having a bloody laugh. Having a great laugh, aren't we? Why are they fucking shaving their heads and shit, dude?
I mean, it obviously is like banter. Like anyone who thinks he's being like these are genuine sentiments, and people are like, he's a streamer. No shit, Ada. Yeah, I know. I'm just re-emphasizing it. Why is I've heard about this futuristic hub freak. Why is he in my DMs? You ask how the feet thing is going? Was that you? This is in my requested I don't even know. Okay. I'll deal with that one later. I don't know what that's about. But anyways, where was I? That's what is going on, man? But sorry, I just lost track of what I was. I just lost track of what I was. I don't. It's fucking bizarre. But I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys. That kind of threw me off.
That's deranged. I don't get it. Why are you fucking doing stupid shit on stream for money, bro? You're like back to like...
that's what I was saying. Like, I play my reactions up, obviously, sometimes. No shit. I emphasize that. He does it too. These are genuine sentiments he has. But, like, he's obviously trying to entertain his audience. He's obviously appeasing them. Anyone who thinks he's, like, actually that fucking angry about this... These are real feelings he has. These are real feelings he has. I actually, folks, I played COD with Chud for the first time in a few months. We didn't really talk about drama, but these are like, he has reasonable opinions on this that kind of align with the shit a lot of people have been saying, albeit he's not like as extreme as like maybe your average spicy chatter, and him and Nick are still cool or whatever. But didn't you eat an egg for $100? Well, yeah, but that's not... Do you not understand the fundamental difference between that and shaving your head? Like, I can eat an egg for $100 and then, like, walk into, like, class tomorrow and not be, like, ashamed of myself. Connor shaved his head and, like, looks disgusting. Like, so disgusting, in fact, that, like, you would just, like, have to remind people not to stare at him in public so he doesn't feel self-conscious. Like, that's something that's going to affect him in his day-to-day life now. That's not like in a like eating an egg. I'll just move on the next day. It's not a big fucking deal.
Fucking whatever person.
How much to shave your... I'm not shaving my head. It's not it's literally never happening.
I don't get it. What's going on, bro? Why are they doing this? I don't understand it. Is it just easy money? Is that how they see it?
Speaking of easy money, folks, if you want to support the stream, we have super chats. You could donate to help us out. And somebody made a very good point. Skinwalking Queeman. Queeman, for some reason, has managed to incentivize his audience to like post like yeet type clips of him on Twitter. So clip up. We're making an active effort to get AIDS Gang more active, more out there. My crazy takes and opinions. Put it on the timeline. Aiden Underground shares his thoughts on blank, on this, on that. All right, start astroturfing people. We're getting out there. We're getting out there.
Oh, it's easy money. We can act like retards on stream and shave our heads and get a bunch of money. Fuck me, dude. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the membership. Hope you're doing well.
Parodying everything that I would commonly hear from them.
But what's
like,
this about?
You shouldn't have done that to me.
What's this about getting, for example, I believe it was, something about, I believe it's like Sims 4 DLC.
Wonderful. But how do I make
or getting
money
kind of
off
gifts.
Oh my god.
Can I upload the salmon shirt clip? No, you can't. No, you cannot. You cannot. Not that one. Not that. That one will be within our community. We'll keep that. We'll keep that one in here. We'll keep that one in here. We'll keep that one in here.
Well, I'm you know, obviously, yeah. You know, I'm being nice, I guess. Probably too nice, as Styler would say. It's wretched. It's totally wretched, and people are acting like it's not. Bro, it's fucking deranged, bro. It's totally fucking deranged.
The balding man
Don't
is
get it.
jealous they can shave their head without issue.
I don't fucking get it, bro.
I was a little bit unhinged, okay? I was a little bit unhinged on that stream, okay? I was making a point. I made that point a little bit too much, and it's not looking great.
Bro. I don't
Aiden's
understand.
too lazy to set. I know I'll set up memberships. I'll actually do it as soon as I'm done with this stream. I gotta upload the Cameron debate, whatever, and then I'm gonna do like a little. I'm adding commentary to that video, so I'll be doing like a preamble with recent developments, my takeaways from the situation, and like the Cameron interview, and then I'll do memberships tonight.
I don't get what's going on over there. It's absurd. It's utterly absurd behavior.
Sure, I did. I uploaded a VOD. I uploaded a VOD the other day. I'm very proud of myself, people. Gamma helped me edit it. Gamma helped me. QQ was like, you're being too hard on Gamma. Unfortunately, Gamma doesn't really know how to make intros, so I had to go like whip the intro together myself. But yeah, you could go check it out. Dead air.
It's just like watching a fucking, I don't know what, well, you know, you know, it's gotten increasingly worse over time. Like, it started off and I could understand it a bit of fucking around, but like Connor shaved his fucking head and they're treating him like a big joke. You look like you're a total freak.
I think Chud is like a bit like overly angry about this, or he's obviously playing it up. I get his point. But, like, if you want to laugh at yourself, if you'll do that for money, and it's not, like, a big deal to you, and you're not super self-conscious, it's not like Connor's going out and dating, alright? You know, go do it. Go do it. I don't know, how much money did they make for doing that one, by the way? Did you even acknowledge? Oh, I didn't acknowledge. No, I like Gamma. I like Gamma. Go, I don't know if he's taking work right now. Go sub to his channel. I've obviously made fun of him a lot and have found him to be quite insufferable at times, but I've noticed a conscious effort on the part of Gamma to improve. So I appreciate that in somebody a lot, and he seems like a good guy. So go give him some support.
You're a total fucking freak retard, shaving your head for cash, and you're trying to act like it's fucking normal. No, it's not normal.
He's definitely afraid of becoming a lol. True, Queeman actually, I think, made this observation months and months and months ago when I first started watching him. It does seem like there is like a total fear of becoming a lolcow. He seemed to have projected that onto me. I did like a whole stream where I was just getting one guy by the audience, making fun of myself. Chud really didn't like that one. And I actually think Queeman was saying that in response to Chud's reaction to my clip. Chud does seem deathly afraid of becoming a lol. That is a good analysis of the guy. But it's okay. There's a difference between being if you have like it's very hard to become a lolcow. Being a lolcow is not doing something super embarrassing, right? You could probably like shit your pants on stream and still not become a lolcow, because the reason they call it the gene is because it's a persistent way in which you respond to these kinds of things, and like a total lack of self-awareness that turns you from a person that's humiliated yourself to somebody who's a lolcow, right? So unless you have the gene, it is extraordinarily hard to like bring yourself to lolcow status.
It's fucking deranged. I don't care what fucking money you're making off the back of it. What is the fucking point of it then? What is happening? I'm honestly I'm boggled. I'm totally mind boggled by the whole thing.
Is it explain the joke hour today? No, it's ban you from my fucking chat until you learn how to like type something where if I like got it analyzed, they'd be able to like show that it's like written by somebody with an IQ above 80, but you never seem to type things like that. Your chats are like typed by like a fucking moron, aka you. So you could come back in 30 minutes and hopefully your IQ will somehow go up by 20 in that span of time. But I don't think it's happening.
Where's the self-respect, you know? You're mad that they can laugh at themselves.
True! Good point.
I know you're trying to wind me up with that comment.
$10 from Starbased. Chud logicked.
I've always...
Dude, what is this? What is it with this Starbased person and like the beef with Chud Logic? What happened? Apparently Chud Logic like called this person a lolicon because of their profile pic, and apparently they've been like donating, trying to explain it. They've changed their profile picture. Starbased has been a supporter of mine. I have no gripes with this person. I will point out though that I did make a temporary rule in my server that like to stop posting like random photos of like anime children, even if it's not sexual, because like I just feel like people will use that to skirt around anti-lolicon rules or whatever. And Starbased was one of the most vocal opponents of that rule in the server. That's a weird rule. No anime children in the server? That's a weird rule. That's weird rule, man.
I've always said, and if people want to do it, it's obviously you do you at the end of the day, right? But I will always look with great disdain upon that sort of behavior, and always find it very, what's the right word? What's the right word to describe it? Oh, it's like very debasing,
Debasing, true.
Very debasing shit.
Very true. Who cares?
Anyway, there we go, guys.
This is not what we're here for. This is not what we're here for. I don't care that Connor shaved his head. I don't even know how it like segued into this segment. He should be talking about the thing that people actually care about. And the thing that everybody actually cares about is the state of this community. And to be honest, people say I'm sweeping. Dioria is not even the worst offender. It's his viewers. It's the RFC viewers. It's the people in Clipped Live that make this discourse so fucking insufferable, because they can't have a nuanced perspective on anything. And any time you give a nuanced perspective, you're considered a Hassan dick rider. You're considered a contrarian, okay? These people are fucking morons. Total idiots. And I know there's some in my audience. And if you're in my audience and you're one of those people, you're not wanted here. You could disappear tomorrow, not only from my chat, but from the face of the fucking earth. And I, nor anyone else would notice. And if I did, I'd actually probably be happy.
Got your little bit of anger. You got your finny rage. Okay? Chud, when a streamer shaves their beard on stream, where's the respect? You are modifying your body in ways that you otherwise...
189 from Patrick Starr. Bald Chud is jealous Connor can grow his hair, but true.
Otherwise wouldn't, for the purposes of cash from your audience. And you can frame it however you want. It's just shaving your beard off. It's just doing this. It's just doing that. Okay? If you are going to do
Connor's just jealous of Chud's, like, balding Hitler Youth haircut. Connor's very jealous.
something, I mean, I can't even say that, dude. I don't even agree with that. I don't even agree with if you're going to do it.
The balding on the sides turns it from, like, just a comb over to, like, a Hitler Youth haircut. $5 from Joe Savage, AG4. Thank you so much, buddy. Much, much, much fucking appreciated. Super fucking generous. There's no guarantee. Well, that's true, I guess.
But anyway, do it on stream for money.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money?
I do not like
off
tricks or
oppressed
treats.
people?
You talk about them shaving their heads like they are some strange man shouting about online rape accusations
True!
in his deranged
So
chat.
true!
Heart emoji.
Thank you, Spencer, for the super chats. Modifying your body, it's just hair. Okay, dude.
I'm definitely gonna go bald. It's gonna happen. It's not an if, but a when, depending on whose side's genes I've inherited. On my maternal side, nobody's gone bald. And actually, I don't know why I say definitely go bald. My maternal side, like, everybody has fucking, like, really, like, great hair. My grandfather had, like, a full, like, thick head of hair till he died. My grandma's her hair never thinned. My dad's side, on the other hand, it's not looking great, guys.
What is this fucking sweeping for this behavior too, bro? Dude, Wick did it for $500 and I called him a fucking loser retard for it and people were agreeing with me. But now because it's already doing it, it's okay.
Nobody's bald on my dad's side. It's just like my grandfather on my dad's side has like a super matured hairline that hasn't moved in like 30 years, but it's still like matured in the back.
Hey, it's better, apparently. Sides cuck sweeping is what it feels like to me. And if it was some fucking loser retard lolcow, you'd all be agreeing with me going, yeah, it's pathetic,
But how
it
do
is
I
wretched.
make money off depressed people?
Thank you for the 283. Next up, we're on HRT for cash. True.
True. Isn't this what Chud says happened to Finster? I don't really know if I agree with that narrative. I know people gave Finster like a super big amount of money to go and like do like stuff related to their gender, and I don't think
AIDS gang represent, okay?
I don't think people should be like, I think people should let people, you know, their gender identity is their gender identity. I don't think you should be trying to incentivize changes to that with cash. But I don't think Finster would have gone through that process had they not actually felt that way. Like, I don't think Finster was, I think the process was sped up. I don't necessarily agree that like Finster wouldn't have transitioned without that money.
Anyway, there's my answer. Confusing opinion for that.
Wild, the $3. I don't know, Diorio Long, has he always taken such cautious opinions? And do you think he'll always land on his feet when he backs himself into a bad opinion? Or will he ever let his ego get in the... what does that mean? I don't know, Diorio Long, has he always taken such cautious opinion? What do you mean cautious opinion? Do you think he'll always land on his feet when he gets himself into... Like, do I think he'll be able to survive? Or will he ever let his ego get in the way? What do you... Hold on. I don't know why that's so confusing to me. Why is that confusing? I feel like it's... I'm reading it. It feels like it makes sense. But now I'm thinking about it, it doesn't. Can somebody translate what he's trying to ask me? I don't know what's happening here. I don't know if I've been like struck with aphasia or something. But I just can't understand what he's just wrote. It like looks like it makes sense on a surface level. But I... for some reason can't understand what he's trying to say. Somebody please translate for me. I don't know why it doesn't make sense. It feels like it should make sense. I don't know why it doesn't. Do you think he sides cucked because of it? Oh, Aiden Underdog. DM me on Discord, buddy. I have a job offer for you. I've been very happy with some of your work. I feel like we could have a very good business opportunity together. It means Dioria takes the popular opinion. I don't agree that he's always taken the popular opinion. I don't think that's true about him, like, historically. We can look back to even, like, his time when RFC was his main audience. He took views that lied entirely in contradiction to RFC and got him into shit from Augie's fan base. So I don't think he's always been, like, always taking the safe opinion. I don't know if he's necessarily... Right now, he is taking the safe opinion, but I don't know if he's taking the safe opinion because it's safe more so because, to be honest, I feel like he's may not be as educated about the political component of this argument, and like takes some of these things surface level and thinks like some of the people are like extremists that hate Jews. And then also I think it's a component of people will say money and fame isn't a factor. Okay, they'll say that. It's a factor for everybody. Okay, I can say that right now. I guarantee you, if I had 50,000 people, if I had 5,000 people watching right now because they liked some opinion I had on a certain thing, I'd be much less likely to move on that opinion if I'm making like hundreds of thousands or thousands of dollars off of that thing. I can say now I would never want to get to that position, but when push comes to shove, I don't know if I would. So I think that definitely plays a factor as well.
Membership you gave me a little bit ago. Thank you for that, by the way. Thank you for that. That is my honest, true take on it.
Instead of direct cash.
All banter, by the way.
He led the attack. You're saying that to piss me off. You're saying that to piss me off because you knew it was me. You knew it was me. And then he came in hindsight and was like, I never liked flamenco. I never liked flamenco. When everybody was about to cut me off for kicking flamenco off my Minecraft SMP, Augie, all of them were like, we're not going to play if you remove flamenco. Did Diorio come to my defense? Did Diorio come to my defense? No. No, he didn't. When I was calling out flamenco for his obviously fake girlfriend on the Minecraft SMP and Diorio was in the VC, did Diorio come to my defense? Did he come to my defense? No, he didn't. In hindsight, when flamenco is much more obviously a freak, even though it should have been obvious when he was the former co-host of the Kill stream, he fucking had a debate defending the Confederacy. He's super unfunny, fucking raging and spurging out about nothing, etc., etc. But when it became glaringly obvious that this guy's a fucking loser, now everybody wants to say, I was always against flamenco, man. It's not true. It's not true. I was, and nobody listened because it was me saying it. And there have been countless times this has happened. There have been countless times where I get in my replies, rare Aiden W, sometimes from people who have said it 8 times prior. At what point are you fucking morons going to acknowledge it's no longer rare? At what point are you morons going to acknowledge I'm not as bad as you think I am because lies about me have been fed to you by certain interested parties that don't want to see me succeed?
All banter. Guys, it's just a bit of banter. Come on, come on. What's a bit of banter between friends, am I right?
Yeah.
And notice as well, notice how I'm super charitable to Diorio right now. Notice that. And notice how I'm super charitable to Chad. I'm super charitable to both sides, trying to get everybody to get along. Be generous to both sides. If I was in either of their position, do you think anyone would come to my defense? Do you think anyone would speak out for me? You know who would? Nobody. Nobody would. Nobody would, because it's easy to hate me. It's easy to hate me. It's easy to ride with the popular wave. I offer them charitability that they would never, ever give to me.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Oftentimes, in order to prevent something from happening, I
I
never
became a member. Kai celebrates 3 months of membership. Love a good chat banter.
Thank you, Kai, for the membership. Appreciate it. Thank you.
had to ask. It was always
Ghost robbed them, by the way. This Queeman guy, he sits there and he fucking laughs while his mods time me out in his chat. Haha, let's make fun of Aiden. Nobody take Aiden seriously. Okay, let's his mods just kick me out of his chat. Here, there, whatever. Okay? Nobody would come to my defense when push comes to shove. I'm completely alone.
Because I had a little bit of a reputation for exposing people. They would purchase me something preemptively in order to, like, buy me over. And
Chad will sweep for Queeman out of one side of his mouth and shame over the sweep. Okay, when I say I'm going to sweep for Queeman now, what I'm signaling to the audience is I am biasly assessing the situation, right? I'm making it clear what's going on there. The people in chat aren't doing that. They're just going, oh, what's the problem, Chad? What's the problem? What's the problem? If they were saying, I'm biased, I'm a fan of them, but whatever, fine, I get it. Yeah, if you're a fan of them, you're probably going to like it, right? But I've had a very consistent view on this every single time it's come up. Every single time that someone has done the show, I've said I don't like it, and that's it. Pedo Logic, Chud Logic's evil brother.
True.
Maybe I'm
Good
the evil
point.
one. Did you
Whoever
think about
wrote that, that's
Not
a
a
good
pedo,
point.
just to be clear. Maybe I'm
Yes.
just the evil version, and somehow a pedophile is less evil than me. Did you think about that?
Bunk was right. Bunk was right. Bunk owns you.
It would make them feel like I owed them something, so I wouldn't expose them, and I still would, obviously. But like, I don't know what went through their brains where they were like, if I buy her something, she's not going to screenshot this because I was screenshotting everything anyways. It doesn't matter if you bought me something or not, but I would still
I
accept.
want to get to the point where he's talking about Hassan. I don't care about. By the way, I just need to say I've received some very disturbing fucking reports about Spinal BJ, Ferran, and many others that I want to get to the bottom of in relation to this Jelly Girl. Make no mistake, this Jelly Girl's interactions with the honeypotting, whatever, she's a victim. Okay, she did things that weren't good while she was being groomed by God knows who. Okay, I'm not going to say any names, but she sent me proof of her that she actually, yes, it's not a lie. She is 150% engaging with law enforcement in some capacity to bust some of the people that she used to associate with. And one of the names that came up in these investigations, and I'm not going to say him by name, is this old freak that used to be in commentary that got exiled because he thought it was funny to... He was a troll, and then he decided to start, like, sending people CP to fuck with them. And he actually, like, came up under the names of, like, the people that were being investigated by authorities. Keep in mind, she's not from this community. So to see his name come up was, like, fucking insane. But it's legit. Okay? It's legit. No, it's not the guy. It's not who you're thinking of. It's a different guy. It's not the guy I've previously spoken about that did those things. Whose name, you mention his name, he'll come out. I'm not talking about that guy, I'm talking about another guy, but you also might know who the other guy is. Not gonna say his name either, because he's a freak. I actually found out that the other day that I warned the mods, because I'm such a helpful guy, I found out that this guy, who is being investigated, I believe, in some capacity by law enforcement, who multiple people will vouch, is did what I just said he did. He was in Chud Logic server, and he was in the RFC server. I tipped off mod. I don't expect them to know who this guy is, because he's like a nobody, so nobody's at fault, or whatever. But that was a ticking time bomb, okay? A ticking time bomb.
Treats, and I always fucking say it for every person that does it. So, you know, I'm not saying I'm doing anything particularly noble here. I'm not, but I'm just saying I find particularly egregious tricks or treats. I wouldn't do it. I don't like it, and I'll say that, and that's it.
I didn't have to threaten anyone for it, though. It was all given to me willingly.
Also, the only reason I'm talking about this is because there's, like, barely anything happening at the moment. The drama fucking ecosystem is as dry as the fucking Sahara, unless you're willing to do the 20th stream sucking off fucking Ethan Klein. Yes, I'm talking about you, Nicholas Diorio, okay? Unless you're willing to do the 20th stream going, oh, isn't Ethan correct about everything? And it starts...
It's true, okay, it's true. I'll say it, okay? I'll say it. And I say this from a place of love, of respect, okay? Diorio's streams, the reason I haven't watched them recently is because it is non-stop coverage of this shit. And if I were in his shoes, I would keep covering this non-stop because the amount of money and viewership he's making. But it is so fucking boring to, like, your average commentary viewer. Like, let's just be real. It is, like, completely insufferable. I don't even like how I got into talking about it at the beginning of this segment. Apparently Nick's going to, like, VidCon or something. He's going to be in California. I might see him. I don't know yet. Because I very well might be blacklisted because of a certain Cheeto from, I don't go to, like, VidCon. I go to, like, I don't know, parties or gatherings of certain people. But I very well might be blacklisted from, like, everywhere I try to go because of a certain someone who's going to tip off a certain someone else. Long story. It's a long story.
It's totally wrong. Unless you're willing to do that, it's dry as the fucking Sahara out there, bro. It is there's nothing happening. It is so boring. Dude, I'm so uninspired every single day when I wake up.
I have no beef anymore with the Cheeto, and here's why. Obviously, I don't like it. I think his, like, views are retarded. He's, like, trying to skimwalk Asmongold now. Whatever. He's now gonna see, if he sees that, he's gonna be like, dude, I'm like trying to I actively try to like cool it down, right? Because if our like beef is at like 150% and I could tell it's like heavily bothering him, I'll go into his chat and try to cool it down, and then I'll actually engage in some banter, because I'm not just gonna go suck this guy's fucking cock with the feelings I have about him or whatever, and then he'll immediately jump on that and be like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? So even that comment is probably gonna not make him very happy. But Cameron, since this Cameron shit happened, Cheeto's like a thought in like I don't even remember this guy, man.
And I think, right, what is there to talk about today?
You want to be invited to? It's not his party. I've never been invited to an Cheeto party, because there is no such thing as an Cheeto party. Everyone will vouch. Cheeto's never at a party. Nobody's going to any such thing as a fucking Cheeto party. It doesn't exist.
What? We love the ADL guys, don't we? Yeah, the ADL are absolutely correct about everything, aren't they? All of a sudden now, because we're against Hassan and we want to suck Ethan's cock, the ADL apparently are against the ADL fucking suck, bro. The ADL fucking suck. The ADL are terrible, okay? This idea that Ethan is this sensible fucking operator that is like so based in giga chatters, it's not true. It's not true. Ethan has gone fucking insane.
Like, well, we could agree with them on this one situation. No, you can't. I would agree with that for anybody else. This is an organization that shouldn't be validated in any meaningful capacity, because you then help reinforce their role as like a serious authority on anti-Semitism and these issues when they're not. They're very biased. They're very dishonest in the way they go about it. They're absolutely fucking unhinged. And yeah, even if you might align with them on one situation, you can align with the position without lending any credence to the things that they say, because by doing so, you're legitimizing them, and they shouldn't be legitimized.
People aren't fucking talking about it, dude. It's so fucking annoying, dude. People acting like Ethan is this, voice of reason. He's the voice of reason who is like, oh yeah, he's so correct, and oh, he got skulls sent to his house, and oh, the CPS skulls. Yeah, that stuff all fucking sucks.
No, not the skulls. Anything but the skulls, man. Not the skulls. Not the skulls. Dude, I can't anymore. I can't. With these fucking skulls. It's not that big of a deal to get skulls in your mail, okay? It's not. It really isn't. Is it inconvenient? Is it kind of like a wow? I wonder what unhinged person did this, and are they capable of doing anything else? Even though you are very much well aware there are unhinged people that don't like you online. But, like, just, like, have them disposed of and move on. Okay, it's a skull. It's, like, calcium and, like, other I mean, it's, like, it's a skull. Okay? It happened. Let's fucking move on. It's really not that big of a deal. And then the other thing is the CPS call. I'm going to say it, right? I don't think there was grounds to call CPS, but it is a very, let's not pretend for a minute. There doesn't exist. And people are going to say this is a fucking, you should not call CPS to fuck with somebody. That's true. But if you believe that if you legitimately believe that there is a child that is potentially in danger, it is better to call than be wrong. It is better to call. If you suspect it, it is better to call than be wrong, okay? With that being said, I don't think based on Ethan's statements there was a basis to worry to the extent where you would call, but there's a very real possibility that there was somebody that watched the stupid shit he said about his personal life and living situation on his stream and actually was concerned about the welfare of his children and made that call. And if that happened, it's not like a swatting. It's somebody that's like fucking moronic, but that actually was worried about the welfare of a child. And if that's the case, right, I don't think it's like, I don't think it's like, people are portraying it like it's like a swatting. I don't think it is, because he was saying things that could lead a moron to the logical conclusion that somehow his kids are in danger. And if that moron does believe that, can I fault them? I mean, yeah, I can fault them for being a fucking idiot, but like, it's not like the same thing as swatting somebody. Like, there are very bad people that don't like Ethan, and I would be worried if I was him too. But people are acting like this is like the fucking worst thing we've ever seen. That's a straw. I mean, obviously there's things that are worse, okay? That doesn't delegitimize that, yes, for some people getting sent a skull is going to be scary, that it's a huge inconvenience to have CPS called to your house, and in his case, I don't think it was deserved, but it's like kind of a lesson, like a learn in the fact of I'm not going to say things publicly that are going to make people question the safety of my children, and I'm gonna like probably not. I don't think at all, because if we're to sit here and acknowledge, right, that there is a group of insane people harassing him, which is true, and he believes it, right? That he probably believes these people would do things to jeopardize his physical safety, which very well could be true. Why would he show his kids' faces on stream as well? I didn't really get that part. Like, in an ideal world, you should be able to show your family online. But we're not in an ideal world, and there are crazy people online that you acknowledge. I feel like to then bring your kids on stream and show their face is also, like, super fucking reckless. I'm not an unreasonable person here, okay? I'm not an unreasonable person here. But with what he believed about this audience and how they were attacking his family, whether that's true or not, with what he believed at the time, the decision to then show your children on your stream, I think is like super reckless. CPS being called is insane. Yes, of course. We shouldn't be calling CPS on random people online. Also, it's very different if it's like a public figure that has people in and out of his house, because then somebody else would more than likely be able to determine if there was a genuine threat of safety to the kid, and you wouldn't need to take that initiative as somebody watching from behind a screen. And there's a real possibility that the person who called was a bad faith actor that didn't actually worry about the safety of the kids and wanted to fuck with him. That's a very real possibility, and if that's true, that's disgusting. Okay? That's disgusting to waste the time of CPS to unnecessarily traumatize children. I think it is like a pretty, like, I don't know, I use the word, it could be traumatic, right? But that's gross. You shouldn't fucking do that. But there also is a real possibility that his statements online made somebody genuinely concerned about it and then made that call. And if that's true, the person who did it, still a fucking idiot, but wouldn't be like bad intentioned or like a swatter. But then that should also be like, I shouldn't make these kinds of statements, probably publicly.
But can we stop fucking pretending like it's not acting like a total fucking insane freak, bro? Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking lose it, dude. Okay, bro.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
EHD.
I don't want people in this world to be scared if they actually legitimately in good faith are concerned about the welfare of a child. I don't want them to be scared to make that call, because there's case after case. This is a very unique case because this is a controversial figure where there is like bad faith actors that would do this to fuck with him. But just in general, I'm not even talking about him. I don't want to make people scared to make that call if they are genuinely concerned about the welfare of a child. Because I do hear about a lot of cases where like people have their suspicions and didn't make that call. And you'd rather be wrong than like be the guy that sits there and wishes he had done something. In this case, I don't think it's like that, but in general, utilizing government resources pension for malicious reasons, not for, yeah, I agree with you. It's not free speech. I wouldn't even call CPS on someone online. I wouldn't say that. There's been multiple cases where there were like signs of child abuse that were evident online. And in those cases, somebody probably should have made a call. Daddy05 being a good example. Ruby Frankie, okay, we didn't know how bad it was, but we saw signs that this was a mother that was using a lack of food to punish her children. That's actually pretty fucking bad, but we didn't realize she was actually straight up starving them and tying them up. But I knew about her before she got arrested, and I knew about like the types of punishments she was using on her kids and how controversial she was. And in a case like that, yeah, somebody absolutely probably should have made that call from the internet with what they were watching. You can absolutely call, if you were concerned about the welfare of a child from somebody you're watching online in good faith, please call someone. Please, if you're legitimately concerned, please do. In this case, I don't think there was legitimate grounds to make that call. I'm talking about like your Ruby Frankie's Daddy-O thought, which Ethan is nothing like. I don't think Ethan's like a neglectful father or an abusive father or whatever. They don't strike me as that type. They strike me as people who genuinely love their kids, and it is a shitty situation. But I have criticisms of the way he talked about it online that would make people concerned, and criticisms of the fact that he, knowing the type of rabid people he was dealing with, was displaying his kids' faces to the internet. I think that was kind of like thoughtless and very fucking reckless.
Okay,
I've let it out now.
Made it in somehow.
I've let it out.
Wow.
I've let it out.
Okay,
I've let
that's
it out.
wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Judd's falling down moment.
Thank you for the super chat, Freddie. Thank you for the $20. And thank you again for the $10.
That's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Gringle became a member.
It's just banter,
Gringle
guys.
celebrates
It's just banter.
15 months of
It's just
membership.
banter, okay?
Sounds like you really want to talk about Ethan and Hassan Chud.
I don't want to talk about it because I'm bored of it. It's so fucking boring. Dude, I've been covering that shit for fucking ages. I've covered it since before
Okay,
you
that's
fucking
wonderful.
realise.
But how do I make
okay?
money off depressed people?
Get back to the content, retard.
And also, it's all rooted in this fucking Israel-Palestine analysis that you got to do, that most people aren't capable of doing, by the way, right? I covered politics for a long time.
Do you have specific gripes with Nick on this? And if so, why not try to debate them? I think a lot of my problems with Diorio are more assumptions about his coverage than like full-on confirmation, but the things I took issue with that I would have spoken to him on are the swastika sword. Another one was how I feel like he's like way too quick to like assume certain claims made by the Ethan defenders, like when the two skulls got sent, Aristocracy made a reply like, Ethan has 2 children. This was obviously a threat against his children's lives. And then like Nick was like, I didn't even consider that. And then somebody replied and they're like, he actually doesn't have 2 kids. He has 3. And then everyone took, so I think he's like a little quick to jump on the pro Ethan talking points. But I haven't watched the bulk of his coverage. So I think a lot of my gripes are more with the overall Ethan crowd than it is with Nick specifically. And I think, and I said this to Nick, I think that's applicable to a lot of people. And I think Nick is just like the most easily accessible representative of this side's talking points. The amount of them that he agrees with or doesn't, I'm not quite sure of. He probably agrees with a lot of the issues that I totally disagree on, but I'd have to confirm that before I'd be comfortable like debating him on that in any serious capacity. But this is more disgruntlement with an entire side of the internet, and he's the most easily accessible link to that side.
I'm not fucking capable of getting into the weeds with fucking Israel-Palestine. I don't fucking know the ins and outs of it to talk about it.
She went full insane after October 7th. She was insane before October 7th. She said, I forgot what she said. She blocked me over some crazy shit, I feel like, or so, I had some sort of argument with her back in the day. She said something insane.
You get these people that come along and they
I think it was after, like an Israeli missile hit an apartment building. When was it? 21, 22? I feel like there was like some other Israeli conflict in Jenin or something. They like shot a missile into an apartment complex. I had some disagreement with her then. I forget what it was.
Fucking talk about it. They don't know what they're fucking talking about. They've got no fucking clue. And yet they're fucking listened to without question. It's so frustrating, bro. It's such a frustrating situation. Oh my
God. But she's one of the people that perpetuates this narrative that a lot of your everyday fucking Jews believe in, okay? That like it is not safe to walk the streets of Canada. It is not safe to walk the streets of the United States as a Jew. I have never in my life felt this unsafe to walk the streets of America as a Jew. This like, no, it's actually it's not more unsafe for you. Maybe like statistically, like if you're visibly religious, okay, then we could maybe like agree on that one. But for your like everyday Jewish person that's not wearing religious garb or whatever, I don't think it's really like that unsafe. Okay, I've walked through encampments. Okay, there's not these widespread attacks on Jewish students happening on college campuses. The ADL uses wording like polling shows Jewish students feel unsafe on campus. I don't care what anyone feels, because they're gonna feel that way when Fox and fucking MSNBC and the ADL are perpetuating narratives to their parents that the kids are unsafe. The kids are going to be talking to their parents, hearing about how they're unsafe. Okay, and the kids are going to feel unsafe, but whether or not that is any legitimate grounds on their actual level of safety on university campuses is irrelevant. And no, they are not unsafe for the most part on university campuses. These university hate crimes you're hearing about is like a case of like somebody with an Israeli flag, as I said before, like walking through a Palestinian protest and getting poked in the eye with a fucking flagpole, which shouldn't happen, but it's a very heated conflict, and you're actively representing the other side, walking through a side that feels like that side is, and there's good grounds for them to think this, is committing an act of genocide. Okay? Like, it's political, like, there's political clashes happening. And it's happened on both sides, by the way. At UCLA, a group of pro-Israeli protesters that received funding from people like Jerry Seinfeld's wife went to a Palestinian encampment, started beating people with sticks and I think bats while wearing masks, dismantling the encampment. They were arrested by the LAPD, and some of them who were actually actively in the IDF had charges dropped against them for whatever I don't know, for whatever reason, right? And so it is happening on both sides. I don't hear people saying Muslim students are unsafe to walk campus. Unsafe. So I don't know. But this is a clip I actually sent to Queeman because it's very funny. I've seen this fucking bitch on my timeline, who's just completely insane. If I remember correctly, she may or may not have like endorsed or quoted Meir Kahane. I could be off on that one. And he's like a Jewish radical that wanted the expulsion of all Arabs out of Israel, and founded the JDL, which is acknowledged as being a terrorist organization. Since we think acknowledgement as a terrorist organization is a moral standing, the JDL was acknowledged as a terrorist organization by the United States government, and I'm pretty sure she has, or I could be confusing her with the other one, supported his words, but she's called openly, I think, for the annexation of Gaza. But let's just listen to this statement.
It's been a really rough couple of days because the tragic murder of Sarah and Yaron brings up so much trauma that we have been holding for the past 19 months, sure, but I don't know, thousands of years. Anti-Semitism has existed since the Jewish people existed.
What happened to them was not anti-Semitism. What happened to them was an act of political terrorism that shouldn't have happened, but let's make no mistake, it was related to a political conflict, and they were attacked because of their perceived political standings by the gunmen, not because of their ethnicity or religion.
We know this. To feel unsafe in our own country is a new feeling for our generation of Jews.
You shouldn't feel unsafe. You shouldn't. I feel so fucking safe. It's like ridiculous how safe I feel. I walk outside, I got a big smile on my face, laying back, chilling. The other day I saw a Palestine flag on a car. But I don't care. Big smile on my face, hanging out, laying out in the sun, getting sunshine, walking through college campuses. It's like great how safe I feel. It's like honestly, I've never felt more safe. I feel so fucking safe. I mean, I might as well be living in like a fortress. I'm so fucking safe.
The concept of Jews who have never even thought about an assault weapon, buying guns, because we can't rely on anyone else to protect our community. You know how many members of my synagogue, how many Jewish people that I know who you would never think have a gun, because we need to protect our own community.
Dude, the rabbi's fucking locked and loaded, man. They're buying RPGs and like missile homing systems. So they're buying individual iron domes for their houses. That's how unsafe they are. They're just setting up iron domes around their fucking mansions. She's married to a multi-millionaire fucking plastic surgeon, by the way. She lives a very cushy lifestyle. She actually has no reason to feel unsafe.
Community. You know something? Fear is not an emotion that I have very often. I'm always way more angry and passionate than I am afraid. But today I was scared for the first time, and I can't even tell you how long. I was in a—
That's funny. She's been saying she's scared, I think, since this happened, but let's see. What made her so scared?
A taxi, and the driver was listening to this loud and angry sermon, and they kept yelling, Allahu Akbar! And I was scared. I normally don't care. I am loud and proud. Come and get me. But I was scared today. We should not have to feel afraid to walk.
That's why she felt unsafe, ladies and gentlemen. Just keep in mind, she's in New York City. She's in New York City. I'm from New York, okay? There are tons of Muslims in New York. There are tons of Jews in New York, live side by side. I have several Muslim friends growing up. That is like, this person was probably listening to some sort of religious sermon, because that means God is great in Arabic, right? For you to feel unsafe by hearing that, that is like Islamophobic. That is Islamophobic. There's like no way around that. If somebody was to say the same thing about hearing like a Jewish sermon in a car, you would all be like jumping down this person's throat, accusing them of like being like a vicious, egregious anti-Semite. So for you to conflate their worship with somehow a threat to your safety, it is actual like bigotry.
Down the street because of our identity, because we were born as Jews. That's the reality that every single Jew I know is feeling right now in this country. That is unacceptable. When people say to me, oh, this has nothing to do with Israel, anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism aren't the same thing.
Yes.
Anti-Semitism is a direct result of demonization of Israel.
Wait. I actually 150% agree with that statement. There are genuine acts of anti-Semitism that have occurred since October 7th, and those are related to probably being inflamed by the Israeli conflict. But why is that? Because of morons like this, because of people in the Israeli media department, because of the ADL, who make an active and concerted effort to fucking conflate every single Jew with the state of Israel and their horrific actions. Okay? So it is actually your fault. It is the ADL's fault. It is Israel's fault. The groups, the left-wing groups that advocate for Palestine are screaming from the fucking mountaintops, it's not all Jews, right? And people are like, oh, you're tokens. No, they're right. It isn't, right? It is a majority, but it is not all. And when I went through one of the encampments, they had several, there was like Jewish Voices for Peace or whatever. I don't know. There's some criticisms of that organization. I don't know. But they've made every effort to include anti-Zionist Jews within their own movement. They've made every effort to separate Judaism from Zionism, and it is your side that constantly attempts to conflate the two, which directly jeopardizes the safety of the Jewish diaspora.
We've seen it time and time again. I learned this pattern in 2021. Israel is attacked.
And don't think this is not intentional, by the way. To make your everyday Jew feel unsafe is in the hopes of getting them to like, you're with us whether you like it or not, is in the hopes of getting them to support Israel. Because a lot of, I think the reason Israel's supported by such a wide number of Jews, and I could be off on this, is due to fears for their safety. They believe this is the only thing that can keep them safe. So playing on those fears helps increase and stabilize support for Israel. So they want you as some random Jew living in America to feel unsafe. They want you to.
Israel responds to that attack. The world demonizes Israel, and then Jews around the world suffer the consequences. To my Jewish followers, the majority.
So you can hate Jews without being anti-Semitic? That's like you're so retarded. I saw your post on Twitter. You give me a lot of money, but I honestly don't care at this point. Do you just want to call in? You're actually like a fucking moron. You're so fucking stupid. Yes, you can hate Jews for their beliefs without being anti-Semitic if the variable that is not creating your hatred of these people is the fact that they are Jewish. If tomorrow, every single person from Tibet believed in, believed in murdering every bird in the sky or something, and you hate everybody that wants to murder every bird in the sky, and as a result hate the majority of people from Tibet, you would not be against people from Tibet or whatever. You're against people who are from Tibet as a confounding variable, but the variable that is the contributing factor to your dislike of these people is their belief. And when it's in the case of Jewish people, that is not anti-Semitic.
Of you out there, I love you. I am with you. I'm feeling what you're.
This person's not a one guy. This person on Twitter, I made a tweet saying like Hassan hasn't said anything anti-Semitic, and their reply was Hassan is Turkish. Why don't you go ask the average person in Turkey how they feel about Jews? It's clear he doesn't like Jews. That's bigoted, okay? That's pretty fucking bigoted. To just assume by virtue of somebody's like ethnic heritage that they feel one way or another. Like that is bigoted. Yes.
You're feeling fear.
Thank you for the $2.99, Major Wendy. It's not anti-Semitism to solely deny Jews a state. Wait, do you not? If I was to bring up like to your average lefty, should Germany be a state for the Germans? And by Germans, I mean ethnicity. They would be against that. If I was to say the same about the English, they would be against that. If I was to say the same, and I agree they have a double standard sometimes when it comes to like historical third world nations, right? They'll justify that by saying, well, these people need nationalism in the name of like decolonization or whatever. But to think that it's solely Jewish is like completely fucking delusional.
I'm feeling the emotion. I'm feeling the devastation. I'm feeling the uncertainty. I know that we're going to be okay because we have survived against.
They want it for Okay, so when you're assessing what these, you have to look at it from their perspective on these conflicts to figure out what it is that they actually believe and how their framework works. And they believe that in the case of Kurdistan, right? If we're looking at Kurdistan, they believe that Kurdistani nationalism is the only way for Kurdistan to remain as a united front and secure statehood when they are being attacked by like Turkish and fucking Syrian fascists and ISIS and whatever. And sure, you could then go make that argument for Israel from your side, but you have to look at how they assess these geopolitical conflicts to look at why they might have this double standard. I disavow
all odds for thousands of years. We are eternal. That is something that we can hang on to in these moments of...
Yeah, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. You also realize that like the existence of Kurdistan would be justified to ensure the safety of the people that historically and already living in this immediate area. And you could say, oh, well, Jews have always lived in Israel. The majority were outside of it post Roman destruction of Jerusalem or whatever, right? Majority have come from other places. And these places did not, yes, a lot of the, Jews in these places did need to leave for their safety. But there were several nations where they could have gone to ensure their immediate safety, besides the Israeli state. Now, you can make arguments like, oh, well, FDR turned a boat away in the Second World War or whatever. And that did happen, but there were other the other problem what you would do then, right? Because another big problem is with the Reich flight tax, people couldn't secure the money to leave because they'd have to give up 99% of their income. A good organized NGO that would fund and help refugees flee to safe nations like the United States, or which there are, right, is enough. You don't need a nation state to ensure that safety. Just to help them flee when push comes to shove and they need to. They are there now in 19. Do you think my argument is tomorrow we need to take every single Jewish person and kick them out of Israel? No, I think that's crazy. I think you would be causing unnecessary death. Right? Ideally, in my ideal world, if I could snap my finger, people would be able to inhabit the nations that they were historically from in the last couple hundred years and be safe and happy and everybody gets along and sings Kumbaya. That's not the ideal world, right? That's not the ideal world. What should happen is, from a pragmatic sense, ideally I would want a single secular state where everybody gets representation and lives side by side. That's not going to happen under present circumstances. So what you should be advocating for is a two-state solution. The acknowledgement of the Palestinian state by the United States and the United Nations. Well, they're recognized by many countries as an official sovereign state. The removal of settlements in the West Bank, the removal of the settlements in the West Bank, and full Palestinian control over the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. And some sort of pathway for them to traverse between the two, and then the logistics of what other territory would be divided. I don't fucking know. Australia's colonization wasn't justified by today's standards, but we are here now, and the state is justified for... Do you think I'm arguing that we need to... That would be a cool response to my point if I was advocating for removing Jews from the state of Israel. That'd be a great response if that's what I was fucking arguing for. I'm not, so that actually makes zero sense. Palestine is in full control. This is another misconception. They have physically moved out of Gaza. But as you can see, they've held control over the, I think, over the seas, over the airways, and and yes, there are legitimate defense reasons, I guess, for doing that. But it is also not really true to say that they've had full control. And then what about the West Bank? Why even need to focus on Gaza specifically? What about the West Bank, which is also acknowledged internationally as belonging to the Palestinian state? Why are they actively and continuing to build settlements there? Why are the settlements still fucking there? You want everyone to race mix? Are you okay? This is like I know you come from Augie. Okay, I know you come from his side, so I know you're probably being legitimate with that comment. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Why does she have so many filters? Well, speaking of that, there's this other account, I think, where it was like, I was looking at, I'm like, there's no way. Yeah, this is one of the biggest Twitter accounts, one of the biggest Zionist Twitter accounts. You want to talk about a lot of filters? It's actually very funny you brought this up. This person always manages to, like, come onto my fucking timeline because I read tweets about this discourse. This person has actively quoted and supported Meir Kahane, who is the equivalent of, like, a Jewish neo-Nazi. But you want to talk about a lot of filters. Yes, that's a lot. This is a lot of filters.
You make it. I can't stop. I can't stop now. I literally can't fucking stop, bro.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
RC owns you. Yeah, okay, sure. They're owning me super.
Aiden is super funny. He'll just spout the dumbest comments just to argue. Okay, are you talking about yourself? Obviously, the comments I'm going to address are the ones that disagree with me, because why am I going to be reading and respouting comments that agree with the points that I've already made? That's retarded. That's also why I don't like when people call in just to tell me that they agree with me. So obviously, the people I'm going to be reading are the ones who disagree with me, and the ones who disagree with me typically are retarded.
Super hard with their gay little stream, where they're shaving their head for cash. Whatever, I don't fucking care anymore, bro. Yell about Nuxtaki now. Bro, dude, this is the other problem as well with all this, right? You've now got the
You're just being a Okay, you gave it away. You gave it away that you're one guy. You gave it away. You gave it away there. You gave it away there.
Wretched, wicked freaks of the space, like fucking Nuxtaku, Asmongold, jumping on this as well. They're fucking jumping on this situation too, with their own fucking narratives and spinning their own tales about this, because they want to fucking throat Trump's cock left, right, and centre. And people are fucking, making the same points that they're fucking making. Dude, it is so fucking obnoxious and annoying and irritating, and I'm fucking sick of it. I'm sick of the whole thing.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Dodge valid criticism, then parrot Destiny word for word. Your scheme is word for... My opinion on this fucking conflict lies in direct contradiction of what Destiny believes. What are you talking about? What the fuck are you? And yeah, I am going to agree on a lot of things with Destiny because we're both fucking liberals. So yeah, our points, some of the points will just overlap. That's going to fucking happen. But what I've just stated to you is like the opposite of, I think, what he's presently spouted on this conflict. We actively disagree on it. You fucking moron.
How do I make money off depressed people?
Begara, we love to hear an honest Irish lady with some real ass ish to say. I been waiting for this one my whole life. On God we made it. Total fat neck tea.
Okay, fine.
I am obsessed. I am deranged. I am unhinged. I am weird.
Thank you, Silo, for the $20.
You agree with Destiny leaking nudes.
The
So
reality
true.
is that there is an obsession. There is this obsessive focus on shitting on Hassan. And I don't fucking like
Okay,
Hassan.
that's wonderful. But how do I
Hassan's a
make
fucking
You need to say that anytime you give any opinion that's like nuanced or somewhat favorable to Hassan, every time you seem to preface that. I don't like him. I don't like Hassan, guys.
money off
Okay?
depressed people?
We love Chud.
He's an idiot fucking lefty streamer. But in the purposes of pursuing
that's
Hassan,
wonderful. But how do I
people,
make
we've all become
money
this
off
fucking
depressed
absurd. Thank you for the streamer. Anything that's against Hassan is good now. That's what it's become. Anything that is against Hassan is good now. Including the fucking ADL. Bro, the ADL are like the heart of cancel culture, right? Those J-boys jump off the fucking chain.
Okay, Chad.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
They jump off the chain to shut down whatever fucking conversation they can, right? They literally justify some of the fucking anti-Semitic narratives that exist by super hardcore cancelling people that say the wrong fucking thing about fucking Israel.
Talk to Prime K's anymore.
I think he's right in the sense of like. I think he's right in the sense of like the ADL actively creates more defamation for the Jewish people. They are the pro-defamation league. They do like instead of like ideally, if you were running an organization that attempted to stop the defamation of Jews and you actually don't have the problem I have as well is there are like legitimate echo chambers of anti-Semitism on places like X, and you could very easily like refute some of the major narratives that are being spread, some of the major lies. Okay, but every organization that's like purposed to do that is pro-Israeli. Like a good ADL would be like educating people on like some of the popular talking points and like why they suck.
Only man.
And yet now, all of a sudden, dude, I saw some Stardust clip, right? And Frogan, the stupid fucking fat wench, I don't fucking like Frogan, right? But she said something about the ADL negative.
24-hour, anyone that tells me to skip or calls what I'm covering boring. 24-hour, every single fucking one of them.
Stardust was there acting like it was anti-Semitic to criticize the fucking ADL. This is how deranged we've gotten, bro. Absolute low IQ.
Why was there a swimming pool for at Auschwitz? Because I'm almost certain it was, if I remember correctly reading that one, I've read into the wooden doors one, but if I remember correctly for that one, that was there as an accommodation for the guards.
You retards weighing in on this drama, right? Not understanding it, and claiming that criticizing the ADL is anti-Semitic.
About stream some Fortnite. Think you can give me a challenge?
Now, I'm certain that Frogan has got some sort of anti-Semitic shit going on, right? I don't fucking like Frogan. But obviously, what a retarded concept.
Skip this, please. It's old news. Thank you for the $2, Lumpy Willie.
The ADL is not automatically good because it's fucking siding with Ethan at the moment.
True.
Right? The ADL is a terrible organization.
If they were individuals, as I've said before, it's okay to agree with them without endorsing them. And the problem with agreeing with them on one issue is you legitimize them as an authority on this. They're not.
And they've repeatedly been criticized.
You can agree with the point they're making without agreeing with them and saying you agree with them. Just reiterate that point without saying the ADL got it right.
But they're anti-free speech perspectives. But now they're getting fucking sucked off because they're on the right side, apparently. Dude, it's so fucking deranged, bro. It's so deranged. It's so fucking deranged.
All right, you could leave Lumpy in chat, okay? You guys can leave Lumpy in chat. You could leave Lumpy here, okay? We've got a very special relationship, so he can stay.
Hey, dude, I need to... I don't watch Stardust. There's a clip that was floating around.
Yes, the ADL's right about some things, and you can say, this point, you could just reiterate the point. You don't need to legitimize them. Because ultimately, they fucking suck.
It's a clip that's floating around. Keep going for another 15 to 20 minutes.
I thought you 24-houred him, so I gave him 10 seconds to undo that. You should be able. There should be an undo timeout button on YouTube.
More to say. Yeah, we're fine. We'll make a segment out of it. Fine. We'll make a segment out of it. It'll be good content, I'm sure. I'm just so sick of it, bro. I'm so sick of it. I look around me, and all it is people fucking throating Ethan at every fucking turn.
Wonderful.
No critical scrutiny of him. You know,
Nicholas, but you are so real for this.
True. It is totally fair and valid to say that yes, the extent of like Ethan's pro-Palestinian talking points seem to like be an attempt at like placating the other side and saying just enough of the right thing to act like he's like some reasonable centrist on this. But if you watch his debate with Sam Cedar, etc., it's like very clear he's like overly sympathetic to the Israeli side, as well as like a good way to like tell sometimes is if people want to like put this all on Netanyahu. Netanyahu is the most extreme manifestation of a sentiment in Israeli society that has existed prior to Netanyahu. There seems to be some very legitimate problems with Israeli society in general, not just Netanyahu. It's a total escape and total cop-out to say, yeah, this is a Netanyahu thing. It's a Netanyahu thing. It's not. There's a pretty bad problem amongst their society.
Him seal clapping at Cameron's blatant attempt to butter him up made me want to do the needful. These rants and chat banter are the reason I spend more money on donating to you than I did on hard drugs.
Thank you for the super chats.
Okay.
Thank you. There's nothing wrong with milking the drama. What I've got a problem with is that it's an endless commentary that Ethan is correct.
And like, I don't know how guilty Diorio is of this, but he probably is. But like people who pretend like they care about the fucking politics of it too, when they obviously don't. They're just interested in the drama aspect, and they're like their political analysis is like super fucking surface level and just like wrong.
Hassan is wrong.
Shut the real girl.
Lumpy Willie said, "My starfish is dilated 5 inches. It hurts." What is a like a? Your do you have like a pet starfish?
That's the thing that's frustrating. That's the thing that I find annoying. You know? It's like there's no critical scrutiny there whatsoever. That's the issue. That's the issue that I've seen floating about. You know? Where's the fairness? I like to try and be fair when I talk about stuff. Where's the fucking fairness, bro? Where's the fairness? And I think, you know, it's not like Hassan is perfect in all of this. And think Hassan's a fucking lefty idiot,
Urban
whatever,
Dictionary.
right? But it just feels like at the moment it's anything that goes against Hassan. Anything that goes against Hassan is, is considered worthy of support.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depression?
Okay. I could have gone the rest of my life without knowing or seeing that.
People.
The Cheese Wheel became a member. The Cheese Wheel celebrates 10 months of membership. Go off, chuddy buddy. FK regarded wars and politics over dirt and religion.
Thank you, Cheese Wheel, for the membership. No, I'm not bringing up Nicholas Diorio's stream. I'm not making it about any one individual.
Of course I know chocolate-covered starfish and hot dog, whatever the fuck. Yes, of course I know. Of course I know about Limp Bizkit. They're fucking me. Of course I know about that, buddy. Of course I know about that.
Okay, I don't fucking care about your gay cam. This is also really. Do you know what? Whilst we're here, I'll also say this as well.
Okay,
I'm so fucking sick of you utter cretins desperately trying to fucking throw a wedge between me and Diorio because he's cocksucking Ethan Klein at the moment. Okay, I fucking have got my issues with it, but you guys are so fucking. You're like.
He is being groomed by his chat to go like full bridge burning with Diorio, and people aren't gonna be happy I'm saying this, but like
AIDS gang represent, okay?
My fundamental disagreements, and I'm sure it's similar to Chud, but my fundamental disagreements in regards to this drama don't necessitate a fucking bridge burn. JC Dog with the $15. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
My brain with
That's very fucking generous. Biggest donor of the night. Shout out to Juicy Dog.
It's fucking unbelievable, dude. If you've got a problem with what Nicholas is saying, that's between you and Nicholas. If you've got a problem with something that Creeman is saying, that is between you and Creeman. I'm talking broadly about the issues that exist that I've noticed, and you are trying to laser focus in on one person because you want to start some fucking beef, okay? Listen, at the end of the day, it's not fucking... Listen, if you've got a problem with what someone else is saying, go and fucking speak to them about it. Don't brigade them. Go to their stream. Go to the comment. If you want...
Corn, probably.
One of the rare people that's unblocked by Nick.
Limp Bizkit feels more like the type of vibes I get off like Eminem fans or like ICP fans, where it's like fucking white meth heads from Detroit or some shit. Like I get those like dudes named Kyle who like punch their wife and like beat holes in the wall. That's like the vibes I get off like Limp Bizkit. I think Korn is probably
Nicholas on Twitter, okay? Go and fucking tweet him. I don't fucking care about your personal individual issues with another creator.
But I only know like 2 or 3 fucking songs by Korn, so I can't claim to be like a fan in any sort of capacity.
Okay? This is not about any one person. This is about a culture that has been cultivated. That I would even say I somewhat participated in. I did criticize Ethan Klein for some things, okay? But I definitely was, you know, alongside criticizing the CPS stuff because I thought it was so fucking deranged.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
But thank you for the super chat. But the reality is that, yes, there are absolutely issues with how Ethan has been going about things, and there's been this unending fucking support for the guy every turn. And it's just a sound bad.
Like, this drama has to... If you want to... You could do a political comparison to this. I am skinwalking this point from Queeman. He made it... This is a good point that I didn't really consider that you could make an argument for, right? What are Israel's stated aims in the Gaza Strip? The destruction of Hamas. Well, that's not really an attainable goal, is it? Because you're going to have individual members always. Right? You can, if you're talking about combating ISIS, you have like a measurable, like you could dissolve their caliphate, but you're never going to take out every single individual lone fucking member of ISIS. So it's really like a goal that is like completely unattainable and unmeasurable. And it's like, where does it end? And you could draw this comparison to Ethan and Hassan. What does Ethan want at this point? He has a ton of supporters, okay? Whether I agree with him or disagree with him. Has Hassan really been, like, speaking about him that much as of late? There are always going to be individual snark people that are obsessed with him and talk about him. Okay? That's always going to happen. But you're like main actors in this situation. Have they still been like talking about him that much? Like when is it going to be enough where Ethan's not going to continue posting about this on Instagram and like re-inflaming this drama? What is his goal? What is his goal? To have nobody talk about him in any critical capacity, whether their criticism is just or unjust? That's never going to happen. It's the fucking internet. So what is the end goal? He's reading every negative comment about him. He's posting every negative comment about him. We should, like, it's okay to say, even if you're on his side, hey, buddy, like, maybe giving attention to and feeding every single one of these people on Instagram isn't really going to do you any favors. Maybe, like, threatening lawsuits against, like, random nobodies isn't really going to do you any favors. Like, maybe let's just, like, keep making content and kind of let this die out. If Hassan is actively, I get if like Hassan is like talks about him, I get if he wants to address Hassan's statement about him. But like if every time Hassan does something bad or IDubbbz does something bad unrelated to him, I don't know why he would keep wanting to re-inflame his drama with them. He's allowed to cover them, but then don't fucking like act like you're so tired of getting all this hate from like 15 million angles.
Very fucking boring. Anyway,
like in the capacity that it stands today, the things that Ethan will respond to, how he's behaving now, this drama won't be able to end. It will never end. I don't see a conceivable end unless there's like a concerted effort from Ethan and Hassan, and I honestly, right, whether I like Hassan or not, if Ethan agrees to stop talking about Hassan, do you think it would be unreasonable? Like, do you think Hassan would agree to stop talking about Ethan? I have a feeling he probably would, right? Right? So unless there's a concerted effort, some concerted ceasefire between the two of them, this is never going to end.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Claudia became a member.
Thank you for the 10 memberships.
Okay, that's wonderful.
I don't think I've got that many people watching me.
Off depressed people.
Cody became a member.
You're kind of glazing us. So true.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money?
This
off
Toki
depressed
guy
people?
makes a
Cloudy
good point.
became a member.
Glad that's cleared up. So what's your thoughts on Destiny?
That's wonderful.
Okay.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Ryle Weird became a member.
Yeah, exactly,
that's
DK.
wonderful. But how do I
Bro,
make
the Assange,
money
dude, how many times can you fucking point
Jason
out?
West
Dude,
became a member.
the latest thing about his ban, dude, bro, the latest thing about his ban, bro.
Who's gonna be the first influencer to do a Columbine or Russian movie theater style? It's already happened. I think Jared Lee Loughner had a YouTube channel. I mean, he wasn't like a major influencer, but he did have like a YouTube channel, and he shot Gabby Giffords and a bunch of people at that supermarket. I don't know what that has to do with anything though.
That was fucking. I didn't.
How do I make money off depression?
Or what's his name? Randy Stair, the guy who ran the Amber McLean fan channel. I had a big. Listen, okay, us Ember fans get a really bad rep because of that guy. I was like, when I watched Danny Phantom as a kid. When I was a kid, I had a huge crush on Ember, and then apparently at the same time, some other guy. In his case, he was a grown man. I was like 6 years old. Also had a crush on her and had a YouTube channel dedicated to her and shot up a grocery store to appease her. Who? She was like a ghost singer from Danny Phantom.
Very
Douglas
fucking
Baird
retarded.
became a
Okay,
member.
that was very fucking retarded. Oh, there's a new Hassan content. Hassan got banned.
Okay,
And I think I said, well, he's probably going to get banned for like a day, and that'll be it. And that, that's exactly what happened. He got banned for a day.
I was a fan when I was 6. It was completely fucking innocent. I was 6 years old. This is a grown man with an obsession.
And then he got put back
And
on.
I think there's like a big difference there, don't you think?
How many times can you talk about how bad Twitch is? Oh, Twitch supports fucking crazy content. Yes, we've known that today. We've known that last
Joe
year.
Medai too became a member.
They've previously done other crazy shit as well that at the time was somewhat interested to talk about. At the time, it was somewhat interested to talk about how Twitch loves fucking terrorism.
Broom became a member.
Twitch does not love
I'm going to have to
terrorism.
mute these things. It's fucking distracting me.
Cleveland sweeps for Dan Saltman. Dan Saltman it would have you believe like Twitch is like committing a fucking like e-Holocaust or something.
How many more times do you need to fucking say? How many more times do you need to make the same point that Twitch is fucking dog shit, man? It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, bro. It's so fucking obscene how it's just this endless attention and focus.
This guy's a type. No, a cartoon character that I liked when I was 6 years old is not indicative of a type because I was 6 years old and not capable of feeling genuine fucking attraction.
You know, endless attention and focus. Talking about what a terrible platform Twitch is, and fucking, oh, Hassan said some of the crazy shit on stream and he got fucking banned for a day. The happy birthday thing Twitch did was fucking cringe. Yeah, it was. When it happened. What, 6 months ago?
Aiden, random social media influencer murderers is obviously not the same. Both of the instances I've referenced were planned things. They both planned these things. In Loftner's case, he figured out the supermarket that Giffords would be speaking at and how many people would be in attendance. Okay, he planned it. With this other guy, didn't he like lock the doors before he then went and like these were planned things? Didn't he write like a manifesto?
Point. I mean, bro, it's one thing to like fondly remember some fucking drama that happened, but like, dude, we're getting fucking ridiculous with this, aren't we? Unk has generational crash out. If this is a crash out, so be it. Okay. If this is a crash,
Chud is reason. I'm not engaging with this video at all. I'm a little bored. But he's like, these are all reasonable, very reasonable points, and I obviously agree with and have reiterated all of these points previously. Okay. Now I don't know how genuine they are, how much it is attempt to appease chat. I think Chud can be like a bit audience captured sometimes, but I think these are mostly genuine. And yeah, all I want to see is, when is he going to be filling out the Queeman apology form? Okay, when this is all said and done, okay, and victory's been achieved, everybody can go submit their Queeman apology forms.
crash out, so be it. If people don't like what I've got to say, so be it. If they want to talk to me about what I've got to say, so be it. I'll have that fucking conversation, okay? It's just, at what point does it stop, man? At what point does this endless fucking attention and focus on this drama end? You know, I don't fucking get it. I don't get
I don't glaze. I criticized him for how soft he is on Dan Saltman when Dan Saltman is like a manifestation of everything he should fucking hate. Okay? I'm not glazing Queeman. I am not scared of disagreeing with Queeman. I've had several disagreements with Queeman.
people can still be talking about Twitch bad, and it still fucking sucks up
He's
so...
just ultimately been overwhelmingly correct on this issue in particular. Has he maybe... He hasn't been critical of Hassan enough? That's like, maybe, but like that's like the most like fucking minor like criticism ever.
So much oxygen of the
He is just overwhelmingly correct on this drama, and he's been accused of being a contrarian for it, but he's just right.
You know? And it even got to the point, dude, it's even gotten to the point, okay? It's even gotten to the point.
Just how am I'm not glazing it. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. I have to like just make a concerted effort to disagree with Queeman now, like going forward. I can't agree with them on anything.
Where Creator Clash 3 got the drama and the discussion about that got subsumed. Got fucking subsumed by Ethan and Hassan. And that fucking drama cycle. It got
you're trying to one guy star-based. So now it's not about... It's like, well, these guys didn't plan ahead. I explained to you extensively how both of them planned ahead. Well, it's like, oh, well, that's just being a human being. These cases had gunmen. What are two guys with a gun shooting people called? Those are gunmen.
Consumed by it, and that's what it all became about. The fucking gay Cold War retard.
Be more like Perry. I've been hearing some troubling things about Perry. I gotta be honest, man. I gotta be honest. Until I talk to Perry, I am not hyping the guy up.
Between Hassan and Ethan, and it all became about that.
Troubling thing.
Right? Rather than being like, oh, Ian and Anissa are failing again, fucking retards, it's, oh, Ethan and Anissa are failing because they've attacked Ethan, and that's good.
Perry was upset that he didn't get put on my camera interview, and he should know exactly why he didn't get put on my camera interview, and he shouldn't be upset by it and feel fucking entitled to it. Okay? I would have had no problem bringing Perry on if Perry has shown himself as somebody that can restrain himself and get to the point for the sake of the content and the maintenance of the interview. He would try to get some funny fucking jab in on Cameron. Cameron would stop talking to me, which is what I believed at the time. Maybe Perry made a point, well, he didn't leave completely after you brought Dickers in. Well, yeah, I knew that in hindsight, right? That's like hindsight. But everything I knew about him, I had very legitimate reason to believe I brought Perry onto that interview, and Perry conducted himself in the way I've seen him conduct himself in other places. Cameron would have absolutely left.
And that's good, actually. It's so obnoxious, bro. It's not fun to talk about. It's not fun to get into. Also, and you are also responsible for this as well,
I was one of Perry's like first support. Everyone forgets this. I was one of this guy's first fucking supporters.
You were also responsible for this too. So don't think you're getting away fucking lightly with this, okay?
I didn't kick... Dude, this Major Windy guy's so retarded. He's not one guy, by the way, because he was saying this with the chat. He's like, they didn't fuck Dickers. I didn't kick Dickers, you fucking moron. How many times do I have to say it to you? I didn't kick Dickers. Cameron left the fucking call. He left. And then called me on his end. And I picked up. And then asked him if we could bring Dickers back in. And he said no. I did not kick Dickers, you actual fucking moron.
Okay? You guys have made it so fucking unpleasant to talk about any of this shit as well. Because you've turned it into like serious political fucking discourse, okay? I don't give two fucks about Israel-Palestine at the end of the day, right? Beyond streaming, yes, I've got some sort of, you know, personal political interest in it. I don't think people...
I didn't start the new call. He called me. You can hear the ringing. You could hear the ringing on the VOD, you fucking moron. I didn't start the fucking... Oh my god, you're fucking stupid. Holy shit.
Is good or whatever, right? But
aren't you a lawyer? Aren't you like supposed to be a fucking lawyer or something? How many of your clients have received the death penalty over a traffic ticket?
Stakes have been risen to this ridiculous level with it. You know, and everything is underpinned now by this fucking Israel-Palestine shit.
Type that bullies
and that
a
also is just fucking ruining it too. It's just ruining the whole thing. Bro, drama should not be centered all the time, constantly, around this fucking issue. It's too much. It's too much that it's constantly in the background of all the drama that's happening at the moment, you know? We need to fucking separate out. We need to separate out the fucking politics from the drama content again and get back to fucking mindless, retarded fucking shitter drama, whatever it is, you know? Rather than fucking bang on constantly. Rather than bang on constantly about, you know, a drama topic.
You're right. I actually feel like I'm having a fucking heart attack right now. I don't know if it's the fucking copious amounts of caffeine I've been drinking, but you're so right. I literally am about to have a stroke.
Then it's linked to this more serious subject, but then you don't really know about the serious subject, so all you can do is talk about the drama. But you need a fundamental analysis alongside each other of both to really contextualize and explain what's going on properly. Thank you for the super chats, by the way. I did mute alerts while I'm ranting, okay? But yeah, it's, you know, it's a lot of the drama has just been subsumed by this greater issue, greater conflict and whatnot.
Subsumed. What does that word even mean?
And yeah, just kind of sucks. Just kind of sucks. It's boring to talk about. So
subsumed. Yeah. This is what it's like to talk to
but
dickers.
the problem becomes
just, like,
is that obviously it is overbearing of all other drama, and I've not been interested in getting into it. But then it touches everything, so you can't really avoid it. And then when you do avoid it, and you're not wanting to talk about it because it's fucking boring to endlessly discuss whatever the fuck stupid shit Ethan is doing or what dumb shit Asana said on stream. You know, there's just not much else going on because everything is getting subsumed into this one.
Why isn't Queeman a mod? Because Queeman refuses to mod me because he's like so audience captured that he will placate his audience by not modding me. I gave him mod and he never reciprocated, so he can go fuck himself.
Central fucking drama, you know? So anyway, that's what I think about that. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions?
What's the big stuff tomorrow? I'm going to be exposing 5 prominent members of the commentary community for being pedophiles wanted by Interpol.
All of this after going on about how dry drama is. Talk about it or don't, but the endless ranting is gay. Well, I think that chat would probably disagree, and I think they're probably quite entertained by that ranting there. I don't get, dude. It's not about Stardust, Stephen, right? It's about an atmosphere that's been created. And I'll put my hands up and say, yeah, sure. I at times participated in that. If you want to say that, I don't want to be like, oh, I fucking said things about Ethan.
$5 from Starbase. Everybody in chat gets a turn with Aiden tonight. He's the Who's Lily Phillips? Oh, go fuck you, dude. I just realized who you're talking about. Go fuck yourself.
Defend anything, because I thought it was right to do so at the time. You know, the CPS call was obviously fucking deranged, and there's obviously other things that have happened that are over a line and insane. But there's just this narrative that Ethan is like beyond reproach, and it's just not true. Like Ethan's definitely done deranged shit as well. You know, it's like two people stabbing each other at the same time. It feels like. I want to hear about the range trans people or schizoid blacks, but what you can find is the latest shit Ethan or iDub said.
Okay,
yep.
Good one.
Exactly, it is all-consuming. It is just, it's overbearing. It's very overbearing and frustrating, and you kind of just got to find what you can. And then we found some good stuff to talk about, but obviously this particular content today has not really been up to the right level for me to not just spurg out for a bit. So
I've only been live for 2 hours.
Anyway. I think that's all I've got to say about that, to be honest.
Okay. Well, everything he said was totally reasonable. So he wasn't even that hard on Nick. Nothing he said was like hard on Nick, by the way. He gave Nick an out. He literally went against the audience. I don't know if Nick didn't hear this part, but he actually went against the audience that is like trying so desperately to get him to burn the bridge with Nick. This is the problem I have with like a lot of your like spicy chat-esque types, okay? They'll have criticisms that are totally legitimate, totally valid, but their conclusion always goes to the extreme. And I think, to be honest, I think it's easier for their conclusion to be more extreme when they don't personally know the people involved, so they have less like personal stakes or trust invested in these people. But like, they'll expect somebody to like totally burn a bridge, specifically Chud. They want him to like burn a bridge over a very valid disagreement in which their criticisms are valid, but their conclusion will be Chud needs to burn the bridge. I don't agree with that same conclusion. Although I agree with the criticism at hand. I don't know why, when I say spicy chat, I'm not even referring to the chat or the people in it. I'm referring to like a sentiment that is commonly echoed by the 5 people using that chat. It's really, there's like nobody in it. It's like barely anyone active. Most people would probably be happier with Nick if he debated the disagreements. His strategy of ignoring and blocking is cowardly. Him and Queeman, I'd love to see a discussion between the two of them on it. I think Queeman has said it would be pointless. I could be wrong on that or misquoting him. But I know that even if Queeman thinks it's pointless, I know Queeman would absolutely do it if Nick was willing to. So I can agree with that. Yeah, also the other thing too is, why are people that like are following or retweeting me allegedly getting blocked by Nick? I'm receiving reports that there are people that are retweeting me, active fans in my community, people who at one point or another were very active fans of Nick, are getting caught in this like major block wave. And I don't know if it's like a bot or whatever, but Toki got fucking blocked. Yeah, why was Toki's been like a loyal Nick fan for years? Why did Toki get blocked? What's going on? QQ, although QQ has some like very fucking horrible takes on landlords. The fact that disagreeing with Diorio equates to burning the I don't know if he interprets it as burning the bridge. I was talking about the spicy people or whatever the fuck. He could, and if that's true, but that wouldn't be, because I've actively let him know I disagree with him in calls, and he was like, yeah, I don't really care about that. To be fair, it was like pretty soft disagreement when I've spoken with him. But surely the comments are going to be reasonable, right? The first half of the video is crashing out about the only news that's happening without giving me any reason to be on the same. This is not the only news that's happening, like, at all. It's just you don't care to look anywhere else. There are a lot of things that are happening. To be on the same page with you, you say that death threats, mass rapes, denial of said rapes, the supporting of said rapists, as well as mass murdering groups abusing the functions of CPS to cause terror, and Twitch's favoritism for terrorists is boring? Yeah, that's what he said. That's very best faith interpretation of what he just said. This is definitely not what he's talking about, by the way. Definitely not, like, the exact thing he's fucking saying right now. No, it couldn't be. Wait, hold on. One sec. Hold on. Anyways, this is what's boring, but cutting your hair for money is worth talking about? What the fuck happens in your life every day? The cutting your hair, he's also talking about this as well, very briefly. It's like just a big rant. He's obviously Chud is referencing like daily coverage. I don't think he's ever referencing people just covering this once. This is what's boring, but cutting your hair for money is worth talking about? What the fuck happens in your life every day that cutting your hair for money is such a horrific and disgusting thing, but what's happening between Ethan and Hassan isn't. What Twitch is doing isn't. What could possibly be happening in your life every day to make you think that? Then the whole first half of this video is him crashing out and shitting on people without showing anything to back his clip. It's like it's a live stream, so it's not like an edited video. Well, it is edited, but it's not like it's like kind of like an off the cuff rant. Showing anything to back his claims or opinions sounds like what he meant to say this whole time is, I'm bored, tune in next week when I have something of value to say about something. The stream went on for 6 hours. He's covering multiple things. This was what, 30 minutes out of a fucking 6-hour stream? He actually did have other things to talk about. Chud has gotten so buck-broken in the past that he's too scared to fully defend anyone, lest he be accused of being a sweeper by the deranged performative sweep hunters like Queeman or J-Stalk. You could tell this person came from Diorio. Like, you could just tell it, right? Because the thing that Diorio does as well is, let's just be like totally honest here. I like J-Stalk. I call into his show. But he's a fucking nobody. Okay, ever since Destiny happened, he gets, like, no viewership, which is fine. I don't really get a lot of viewership either. But he really is a nobody, and he's not the main proponent of criticism against Diorio or Ethan or anybody in the recent drama. Okay? He's a nobody. So by conflating all this to J-Stalk, it's, like, such a weird target to pick out. He's, like, totally nobody. If you want to, like, talk about Queeman, sure. But to, like, make it about J-Stalk, it just feels like a way to pick on, like, the easiest target. because he is nobody right now. Chud's like, J-Stalk like salivates at the mouth whenever there's like a new piece of Destiny news to cover because he's ringing the dinner bell, letting the audience know it's okay for them to come back for a stream. The whole spicy chat community has gone so... This other word, contrarian. You're not a fucking You're not a... People think the word People think contrarian means whenever you take a position that's unpopular, that makes you a contrarian. No, it's when you're taking a position that is unpopular because of its unpopularity. If you go and question someone like me, if you go and question someone like Queeman, if you go and question even the randos, if you go and question someone like Stylo, if you go and question someone like... They will be able to reiterate exactly why they believe the things that they believe. Okay? And it is more than it's just unpopular. They'll be able to explain to you in depth why these positions are held. So it's not a contrarian thing. Okay? Everybody got along for shitting on Bo Blacks, right? If you were really a contrarian, why wasn't Queeman and J-Stalk and all of them playing defense for Bo Blacks? Why weren't they? It's not a matter of them being contrarians. They just hold a position that isn't popular right now. Contrarian just means so... Yeah, exactly. That's how it's used. They say it about me, too. It's like such a fucking... It's just like skinwalking, dude. It's such a fucking stupid word. They now unironically simp for Hassan, even though everybody needs to preface any anti-Ethan thing they say with, I don't like Hassan, by the way. Just because Destiny's on Ethan's side. Lamau, at a certain point... Maybe the Queeman has, like, brought up the... I haven't even thought about Destiny in this drama, like, at all. At a certain point, it's hard to figure out what Chud believes about anything. Yeah, the use of the term contrarian is a cop-out if somebody's given, like, points to justify why they believe what they believe. If somebody's just saying something that's unpopular and not giving any basis for why they think it, call them a contrarian. I don't really give a fuck. Okay? Be my guest. That's not what's happening here. What is Kinetic Kel, like, intoxicated in my chat? What's going on? I need to set up a new goal. What's happening with Kinetic Kel right now? I'm very confused. She owned you? What did she say? You're acting more and more... Dude, it's the RFC Clip Live, people. Okay, their only frame of reference is Bo Blacks, because that's, like, the big issue of the week. So to, like, understand this, they have to, like, use Bo Blacks as, like, a frame of reference. You're acting more and more like Bo Blacks. These people are so fucking retarded, bro. They're so dumb. They're so dumb. Oh, I wanted to see who this person was subbed to.
Have you seen the RFC?
They're so fucking stupid. You've already commented that, Goon. You're just copy and pasting a comment you made earlier that I've already addressed. So, you are one guying. Because you're just copying and pasting the shit you said fucking earlier. Goodbye. I'm curious as to what Chud's problems are with Ethan. I'm not baiting. I also think people are being a little uncritical of the guy. But what does Chud think he's done insane? I don't know. Maybe the fact let's just see like what he's posted on Instagram. He's just a guy trying to avoid a chat that's a group that's harassing him. So let me just go to Ethan's Instagram. Creator Clash. He's just shitting on Creator Clash. Shitting on a random fucking Anissa post about his outfit. Another Anissa post. Some post from calling someone a virtue signaler over some other random post. Another post about Anissa, his outfit. Another post, some random fucking nobody Twitter user with 300 likes shitting on him. Reposting Yeet talking about some random streamer nobody's ever heard of. I mean, he just doesn't fucking stop. Also, didn't the other day, he's just throwing whatever he can at the wall. So didn't the other day, he, like, platform a claim that fucking Anissa, like, was involved when she was much older with a 17-year-old and then immediately had to retract it? And it's like, great, I'm glad for that you retracted it, but what basis did you have to make the claim to be... Or he did say allegedly, to be fair, but when you have a major platform, you can still criticize someone for platforming a claim, even if they put allegedly, if there was no basis for them to believe or kind of believe that claim to begin with. Okay, if he saw a screenshot or something, then that would be fine. He could say, allegedly she did this. But if you saw absolutely nothing and somebody just fucking claimed it, then you reiterating that is, like, kind of irresponsible and seems like you just, like, throwing random shit at the fucking wall. Did you see the clip where Ethan admitted his father at 22 dated his mother? I did not see that clip. Which also, in perspective with the Anissa thing, just makes him look like even more cringe. I don't know if I particularly, like, these people would have dated when? The 60s, the 70s? I mean, yeah, that's yikes, but I mean, I don't really know if I care that much. I'm not gonna be like Ethan. I'm not gonna be like how Ethan is for other people with him. Okay, so, like, Ethan just throwing, like, any fucking random claim about people at the wall. I'm not gonna be like, oh, your parents in the 60s had, like, a bad, like, age gap or whatever the fuck. Maybe it'll be later. Maybe the 70s. I don't know. Okay, that's the other word that pisses me off too. I'm a pick-me. No, I have spent countless fucking hours in my early time online having debates with fucking neo-Nazis and people, and, like, I've debated Fuentes on a Twitter space. I've actively tried to refute, like, talking points that are just, like, totally dishonest about Jews, about Muslims, about black people, etc., etc. I'm obviously not a fucking pick-me. If I was a pick-me, I'd be like Brother Nathaniel on Twitter. I don't know if you guys know who that guy is, but he's an ethnic Jew that converted. He became a priest. He became, like, a priest or something, and he dresses in his, like, garb and just, like, posts that, like, all Jews are bad, they need to be removed. And he's like ethnically Jewish and the most, like, ethnically Jewish looking person I've ever fucking seen. That's a pick me. Does he still have a Twitter account? Alright, I can't even find it. Aiden, who is the oldest woman you would date? I don't have anybody specific in mind. Probably 19. Let's say 19. Oldest I'd go is 19. Yeah, 19. Is there a problem? Huh? Yeah, oldest I'd go is 19. Yes. 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 Not a good look? Clipped? I'm 20 years old. I was 19 like 2 months ago. Who's the youngest you would date? 18. Too young is if you're still in high school. It's too young. And I'm not okay. That doesn't mean if you're 17 or 16 and graduate early, I'm gonna be into no. It's 18. But if you're 18 and still in high school, I'm still not gonna even consider it. Just stop. Oh my god, he's 20 and he would date an 18 or 19-year-old? An 18-year-old, 19-year-old minor, you sick fuck. Lock him up. Lock him up. I'm sorry, you want me to date like some fucking like 50-year-old like piece of fucking trailer park white trash named like Charisse in some fucking trailer park, washed up, fat, ugly, out of her prime? Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Seems like your time. Yeah, dude. So true. So fucking true. All right, what was I gonna cover? Apparently I had something else to cover. Apparently I'm like doing a stream or something. This guy's 20. Yeah, I'm 28. I look it too, right? Oh, I saw this. This guy makes a very good post, okay? And unfortunately, there's a very scary amount of people that can vote that would like consider it worth hearing him out. Let's listen to this one. He makes a good point, guys.
You guys see this in China? They're painting all the roofs blue. Paint it blue to avoid the dew. You saw in Hawaii where everything blue didn't burn because lasers don't burn blue, right? Do you think that's anything new? No, man. Look at these pictures. They had airships collecting free energy from the skin of the airship with a big
Wait, the airships are collecting energy from their own skin?
dew on it, and they just went around and just melted everything. That's why a lot of these Tartarian buildings are just freaking melted. And look at the catacombs. Look at the catacombs in France. 6 million skeletons stacked up. Those were stacked with no flesh. How did they get the flesh off the skeletons, man? Because they scorched it with a dew from a hot air balloon.
With a what? Oh, he means a direct energy weapon. He means a direct energy. Got it. So in the catacombs, they got this. they got the flesh off the skeleton by using a direct energy weapon. He makes a very good point.
Yeah. These airships just went around just so between anthrax and the airships, and then what else they had?
Anthrax equals 32 equals 5. The bacteria known as bacillus and it produces dormant spores that can live in the environment like soil. That's true. When spores get into the body of an animal or person, a place rich with water, they can be activated and turn into active growing cells. When they become active, the bacteria can multiply, spread out in the body, and produce toxins that cause severe... Yeah, that's true. I don't know what that means, though. Yes, anthrax is a real thing. It's a bacteria that lives in the... Yes.
They had moonlight towers all over. The cities were all lit up. So if you weren't in the occult and you tried to sneak out and get some food, boom, it was daylight at 3 a.m. Yeah, that's how.
Bet your great-grandparents didn't tell you about that one. Look what they had to walk to school avoiding the moonlight towers and the dew. Okay, your grandparents, when your grandparents were on their walk to school, they had to paint themselves blue. They had to do blue face just to get across the fucking street.
How they did it, people. And then what was left? Nothing but children. Nothing but kids left. Orphan trains, right? Mailing kids through the post. The Cabbage Patch Kids. You could mail a kid across the country. So they took the kids from America, sent them to Australia. The kids from Australia sent them to...
Is that really that's the history of Australia? I thought it was like they sent... I thought it was that they sent criminals there. I thought it was a penal colony. It's actually orphaned American children whose parents were killed by directed energy weapons that were sent to Australia in the mail. Do they like teach you guys about that in your Australian history classes?
To America, just bamboozled these children, traumatized them. They took all their parents away. So it's trauma-based mind control, and then they raised an entire generation of a cult. And that, people, is why so...
The Illumit triangles, tongue, horns, matrix code, .life.
So many people are in the occult. And the other fact that almost everybody's a fucking coward.
He makes a good point. I think him being like in the mountains really adds credence to what he's saying. This guy drinks unpasteurized milk. Very true. Great points being made. Once again, it's the do, man. All the issues with our society, it's because of the do. Okay, I don't really cover Erudite Tent, okay? And I hate to do this while I'm being accused of being groomed by Queeman. But I know Queeman did cover Say, but I saved it before he covered it. Because I saw this and I thought it was kind of funny. So apparently, for those of you that don't know, Destiny had a debate with like big conservative influencer Rob Noor, where he was caught like using Claude to like an AI to like summarize an article that he hadn't actually read while like pretending like he read it. And he got obviously humiliated over it. And Erudite is like apparently Destiny's like right-hand woman, very smart person. And in the midst of a debate of some sort, just wait for it.
Real. Now, it is true that Democrats have bled support on the working class. You can look at some of those exit polls. But I think that unfortunately, a lot of people.
I also like the one where she's like drawing two circles. I'm not like a fucking Destiny A-logger, obviously. Okay. But I've seen some very cringe shit of her. I like the one where she like looks like she's writing something down in a debate, like and then just like drawing two circles.
Will say, "Oh, look at what Biden did." Hello, Hutch. Hello,
Hey,
welcome. Look at what Biden did. Biden was like a super pro-worker candidate, and it didn't pay off at all. And it's like, well, yeah, but I mean,
so she has Chat GPT open.
Look at a lot of the policies that he did and like the actual ground impact they had, right? A lot of them, from the infrastructure plan to the IRA, very, very delayed in impact, right? They're good things, but they're delayed in impact. Look at the NLRB. His NLRB board was not real. Now, it is true.
Okay. Now, I don't know what she then did with the information that she got from that. To be clear, I'm not... Okay, this is the thing as well. I've always been anti... Oh, he's Destiny skinwalking. I've said it for life. I've always been anti-Wikipedia criticism. I think that, like, I hate the teachers in school that used to be like, Wikipedia is an unreliable source. It's not meant to be a source. It's meant to be a compilation of sources that gives you, like, a very surface-level summary, and it's kind of like a launch pad for your research. You see a claim that might, like, relate to what you're saying. You then go look into that claim further and read credible sources that then let you attain, you know, in-depth information relating to that. So Wikipedia is useful for, like, so you don't have to read an entire academic article to learn about a subject. You could just get like very baseline summarization and then look into it further from that. And ChatGPT potentially could do the same thing. I play around with it a little bit, and I've noticed just like blatant inaccuracies, by the way, from it. It seems to get shit wrong a lot more than Wikipedia. But if you're in the middle of a debate using it, that's just not a good look at all. It makes it look like you have absolutely zero fucking clue what you're talking about. I doubt she intentionally showed that. Like, I'm not gonna say, oh, you can't use ChatGPT at all. If you're like, if you want to verify if something's true and then go further look into that, if you want to ask ChatGPT that question offhand or whatever, and then go verify that for yourself, that's not really a big issue. But like in the course of an actual debate, especially what happened with Rob Noor, it's just like fucking cringe as shit. I've corrected ChatGPT several times. I think I've outright said to ChatGPT, wait, what about this? Because ChatGPT would say, no, I'll ask a question, did so-and-so ever happen? And then ChatGPT will be like, no, it never happened. There's no documented instances of this thing happening. And then I said, I'd say, but what about this instance? It's like, you're right, good catch. And then there was another time, I think it was a few days ago, I asked, did Franklin Delano Roosevelt and George Washington Carver ever meet one another? I think I might have been testing something. And ChatGPT told me there is no documented instance of Franklin Delano Roosevelt and George Washington Carver ever meeting one another. This is the problem with that. This is the problem with that, okay? We literally have a photo of them meeting each other. It's a real photo. There are several photos collected from that day. This is the two of them meeting each other. This is obviously George Washington Carter. This is obviously Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Okay, it's actually, I think, in like official U.S. archives that lists the photo as George Washington Carver meeting Franklin Delano Roosevelt. That's a picture, not a document. You realize pictures count as like document, like that is documentation of something, right? That can be documentation of something. This is a real photo. It's been in the U.S. archives. This is the two of them meeting. This is real. It's a unlikely meeting because you think George Washington Carver, you think more like the 1800s. But George Washington Carver was an old man at this point. He was still alive, and Roosevelt was in office. Why is there a black guy? That's George Washington Carver, you fucking moron. That's the black guy in the photo. Agricultural innovator, George Washington Carver. I did like some project on him for elementary school. It's real. It's fucking real. No, you're right. It's Gandhi. So fucking true. There's other photos from that day, documented by Tuskegee University. I think it's in the it's in official U.S. archives. Yeah, it's fucking, yes, this is a real photo. Now the AI flipped it to make, that's from the other angle. He has yeah, dude, that's 6 fingers. So it's just the lighting. Very true. All right, there was something else I had to cover. Let me look. I don't know if we're going to go for a full length today because it's already 2 in the morning. Where is this shit? Hold on. Hold on, hold on. Did I not save this? How did I not fucking save this, bro? Here it is. Okay, here it is. So Twitter was making like a super big deal about this allegation that was like a nothing burger. They were making a big deal calling it. Like they were all, this is the first time I've seen Twitter unite en masse to talk about like what a nothing allegation something was. The original poster took it down, but there were tweets racking up like 100K likes about these allegations. So we'll check them out briefly. These were allegations made by one Twitter lesbian against another one. It involves 2 women. My experience with Rowan, doe-eyed something something, trigger warning, mild sexual references, allusion to suicide, love bombing, etc. Wait, let me clear out my, I always forget to clear out tabs. All right. My experience with Rowan, mild sexual references, allusion to suicide, love bombing. Let's check this out. I'm not a bitchy person. I don't talk behind people's back. Cap. I don't talk behind people's backs. But this has gone way too far. Plus, it's not just affected me, but multiple mutuals too. Will these mutuals be named? I highly doubt it. Very common manipulation tactic, folks. Refer to a group that doesn't... Refer to a group of unnamed people to add credence to what you're saying. Everyone else feels this way. I'm not the only one that feels this way. Here's a pretty exhaustive timeline of everything that happened, and it demonstrates why Rowan shouldn't be on this platform. Rowan and I met on timeline. By timeline, they mean like the X timeline. These two met on X. Met on timeline a few months back. The first post I made of hers was a girlfriend application bingo board with 90% of the tiles being very, very bare minimum things like nice to me and thinks I'm pretty. Looking back on it, I should have seen the signs. That this person's like desperate, looking for someone to love them and has very like basic interests in a person and is not like super picky about the person they're going to be with. Rowan and I were originally friends. At the start, she was talking to a girl on a dating app and tweeting about it a ton. After a couple of dates, the girl broke things off and Rowan was upset about this on the timeline. Another sign, an example of the cycles of obsession she has. Keep in mind, I think both parties involved are like 19 to 20. They go like this. Find someone to obsess over. Talks to them / tweets about them a lot. The person gets drawn in by the attention, but is eventually overwhelmed by this, and Rowan expresses that she likes them. Things end, and Rowan acts sad and dejected on the timeline. Repeat. I mean, that just sounds like a fucking young 19-year-old that doesn't have a whole lot of experience, having a weird conception of love. Getting clingy and then being sad when rejection ultimately comes. I mean, that's not like a big deal or indicative of any sort of like malice. When we began talking, we get flirty fairly quickly. That's okay. I do things like that with a lot of my mutuals. We would talk every day, and after a while, I had to set the boundary that I couldn't do a long-distance relationship. She acknowledged that, and she agreed with me. A while after this, things got a bit more sexual. I wasn't uncomfy, dude, and consented to all the sexual things. I only now regret doing them because of where they led. I will admit that I contributed to blurring the boundary of what we were, but that doesn't excuse Rowan's actions. We began calling frequently during the last week or so. We'd call every few nights because she was never busy, she has no IRL friends, and in our conversations, always rejected making them. After a few, and again with my consent and enthusiasm, things got sexual on calls. So they had like e-sex. She wore a low-cut top, just a bra, and sat in front of the camera. I hadn't really done anything like that before, and I was very flustered. Dude, I hate when people say that shit. But we basically didn't even have a conversation. It was just her looking for compliments. Okay, this sounds just... Why did my lights go? Hold on. Why did my lights go off? I think I accidentally hit something on my... Huh? There we go. Much better. The day after this, but this just to clarify, this just sounds like somebody who is an insecure, potentially maybe has some sort of mental problems, but just like an insecure, young woman that's looking for validation online, which is not rare, doesn't make you malicious. Sure, it might be a little bit pathetic, but they want love and admiration, and they're looking to the internet to get that, and it doesn't sound like they're doing anything malicious. Just sounds like they have a cycle of like obsession and then being sad when they're rejected. That's not really a big deal. I hadn't really done anything like that before, and I was very flustered. We basically didn't even have a conversation. It was just her looking for compliments. Yeah, she sounds like she's looking for validation. The day after this, I woke up, I checked my notifications, and I had a double take. I saw 3 new tweets from her, all indirecting me, and when I looked on the second account, its display was Autumn's lover. Despite the fact we'd had the LDR long-distance relationship conversation a few days earlier. What is... So she's obsessed and becoming clingy. This is how I responded. Overwhelmed, she responded with a Autumn's... This is Autumn. Okay. This is how I responded. Overwhelmed, she responded with agreement, but a little while later, she said this has caused her so much distress that she had gone home from work after reading it. This person might be BPD, okay? I'm not a doctor, but this sounds like it very well could be, like, a manifestation. People have a misconception of what, like, BPD... Why are my lights changing color now? People have, like, a misconception of what BPD... Wait, and the... You guys should have told me you could hear the high-pitched fucking frequency noise. My LED lights went on. Okay. Sorry. This is, like, this very well might be BPD. This was an alarm bell in my head that she was obsessed. Yeah, she might be obsessed. Move on, I guess. Say, I'm not comfortable with being this close with you. Move on. Alright, let's see what she wrote. Apparently this is linked at the bottom, the messages in question. It feels like you're making it as if we're in/about to be in a relationship, where in actual fact we're not, and it feels like they're forcing my hand almost and making it hard for me to say no, which is not what you could just say no, really. Like, you've admitted you even entertained the prospect of being in a relationship. Right? You could say no. I do take slight liability. I think I have a tendency to flirt a bit too much without realizing the consequence that it might be misinterpreted. But I also do set that boundary that I can't do long distance. I really do care for you. I just wanted to set this boundary and reiterate my position that doesn't get confused. I think there's a line between just right levels of complimenting/flirting, and for me, it felt like some of the stuff pushed a bit too far. Can you send me the... Okay, wait, that's for later, I think. The morning after this all happened, I realized I felt Wait. However, the day after I started to feel weird, I saw her talking about... Wait, here we go. So, the girl's too clingy. The girl's too clingy. She takes issue with it, and now we get to the issue. A day later... However, I started to feel weird. I saw her talking about a girl she'd been talking to on a dating app. On the call I mentioned she talked about someone else she talked to on a dating app. I'm fine with her dating. I couldn't do an LDR, but it made... Wait! So this person's with you. They want to be in a relationship with you. You feel like they're too obsessed, and you make it clear you don't want to be in a relationship with them. So they're now engaging with another woman. And that makes you feel weird? What the fuck do you want? What is it that you want exactly? Huh? The morning after this all happened, I realized I felt replaceable. She literally wanted to be in a relationship with you, and you said no. I realized I felt replaceable. Sure, we can continue to flirt or be sexual, but once someone else caught her eye, it would obviously stop. Yeah, it would stop, because there's no expectation of exclusivity when you've explicitly stated to her you're not looking to date her. So obviously it's going to be looked upon like temporary flirtation and temporary sexual exchanges, not a long-term relationship and by proxy exclusivity. You're sending out like wildly mixed messages. I realized this and sent this message. So I wanted to mention something that's been playing on my mind. Don't get me wrong, what happened last night was fun. I don't regret it. I just think if we keep doing sexual stuff like that, and if you're actively looking to date someone, which I would never state it in the way of, I would never stand in the way of, I don't think it's a great idea, and I feel like it would go weird. So I'm going to say that I don't want to do that kind of stuff anymore. Oh god, why can't you just order it so I don't have to go... Don't get me wrong, what happened last night was fun, and I don't regret it. I just think if we keep doing sexual stuff like that, and if you're actively looking to date someone, which I would never stand in the way of, I don't think it's a great idea, and I feel like it would go weird. So I'm going to say that I don't want to do that kind of stuff anymore if that is okay. Yeah, that seems to be okay. This is how I responded. Overwhelmed. Okay, I have to go back to another message. What is... Who compiled this fucking... Who compiled this shit, bro? Hold on. This shit again, bro. Hold on. Wait, I wrote... No, wait, wrong. I rotated... Dude, not this shit again. So I just wanted to say, I really loved last night, but when you said I don't normally act like this with my friend, how do you even screenshot like that? How do you even screenshot this vertically? It kind of threw me into a spiral. I think the point blank, like I said, I can't do a long distance relationship, and this isn't a you thing, it's an anyone thing. I'm too much of a physically affectionate person. I just really struggle when a person isn't in front of me. But also, I just want to set a boundary that I feel like, especially today, but I also, over the last few days, at all, like, the attention you've been showing me has been a bit too intense for me. Okay, that's fine. Okay. A few days after, I won't go into detail, but I'll say that sexual acts happened on call. We both consented, and I never felt pressured. It was my initiation that brought it up, and this was not on her. I didn't regret it afterwards, and I was not made uncomfortable. However, the day after, I started to feel weird. Wait, we already read this. Wait, this is in such a weird order. Okay, then the replace. What is going on? We're reading this in the wrong order. We're reading this in the wrong order. Okay. So they had a sexual exchange. She then started to feel weird because she was talking to another girl. She then DMs her that, okay, I wanted to mention something that's playing on my mind. Don't get me wrong, what happened last night was fun. I don't regret it. Okay, got it. Then, after this, things began to fracture. I'd not messaged her very much and asked her to give me some space, but this is how she reacted to that. Yesterday, I suggested that Rowan take a break from Twitter for at least 6 months. I was originally going to just post this thread, but I wanted to she suggested it. But I wanted to give the chance for it to not get to this, but she went back on her word. So let's see the ultimatum she gave. These aren't even in order, bro. All right. Hi, you don't have to answer this because I'm sure you don't want to talk to me, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry that things happened the way they did, and I hope I don't lose you. I hope we can be friends eventually, but for now, I'll leave you alone, and we won't talk because I know you need a lot of space from me. I'm sorry if anything I've said has been too much. I know I've been really sad, but I hope you still want to be my friend eventually. I hope it works out for us. I really do. I love you with all my heart. Okay, I'm sorry I keep texting you, but I was not trying to manipulate you at all, and I'm sorry if that's what it was, and I'm sorry I wasn't respectful of what you wanted, so I should have given you space. I'm so sorry, but now you're not talking to me at all, and I feel so terrible about not treating you well. I hope you can forgive me. Okay, this person seems to have a fear of rejection and be clingy, and this person knows that and is now totally not talking to them, so she's under the belief she's done something wrong and is now trying to clarify in this person's DMs, which isn't really like a big deal. This isn't in the right order. What fucking moron... Okay, the ultimatum... What is this fucking... What more... How do you screenshot something this badly, by the way? Yesterday, I suggested Rowan take a break. Okay, let's look at the taking the break suggestions. I hope this helps. Okay, so and I apparently there was an original screenshot to this, but my understanding of what happened is that this person then goes to this Rowan person, hits them up, and says, I'm gonna make this person who's really scared of rejection and relying on what other people think of them says, I'm gonna make an entire thread on you unless you leave the internet for 6 months. I know it feels like I'm pinning. We don't know, have like the context. I don't know if they did provide context. It's not fucking. This is a disaster, man. I know it feels like I'm pinning you into a corner, but believe me, I only want the best for you. I mean, the situation isn't great, but I understand that you're trying to help me. I know I have a bad relationship with Twitter. I'd like to know what it's going to say, though, in regards to the thread. Yeah, let me send it to you 1 second. Okay, I can only send one at a time, and it's like 8 to 9 photos, so give me a minute. And then, can you send me the thread, please? Is that a yes? Or are you giving me a choice? I'm not doing this to force you to make a choice. I'm doing this to help you. If you stay on Twitter, I'm worried you're going to cause more harm. But if you take a significant break, there's an opportunity for you to really change. But I'm not doing this out of spite. Believe me, you would know if I was. If I post this, everyone will know every detail, and it would be 10 times harder for you to regain trust. Yeah, this is come on. This is blackmail. I'm doing this to help you, but by the way, if you don't do what I want, here's all the bad things that are gonna fucking happen to you. This is blackmail. Very plain and simple, this is blackmail. Do what I want, or I will release this information. Here's how this information is gonna harm you. Right? That's crazy. In essence, you have somebody that is like clingy and maybe BPD and like is scared of rejection and wants like validation online, which is probably why they only use online and admit they have no in real life friends. And they really love this person. And they want to be with this person. They become obsessed with them. And this person says, you're being too clingy. So then Rowan starts seeing other people, and this person gets mad, even though they said there's no relationship, therefore no expectation of exclusivity. And this person gets mad that Rowan's talking to other people and then starts ghosting them, even though they had previously specified that they're not going to be in a relationship, and sending like super mixed fucking messages. And then as a result, Rowan tries to be like, hey, what's wrong? I want to make everything right. Blah, blah, blah. And then this person responds by essentially blackmailing them to release a thread to get everyone to hate them. Yeah, that's crazy. That's totally fucking insane behavior. Absolutely blackmail. 100% blackmail. Wait, this person didn't even provide all the screenshots. I never attempted to blackmail Rowan. I explained to her clearly that posting this thread reveals information about my own life that I don't necessarily want to make public, but my hand has been forced. I don't believe Rowan can be on here without hurting others. How are you hurt? What has hurt you? Who is hurting you? There's nothing here that's fucking hurt you. What are you I'm saving this so I can bring it into a new tab and zoom in. So we don't have to go to this person's like horrible screenshots. Autumn, I wanted to tell you a few things. I reactivated my account, and it's going to stay that way because I think I deserve to be able to make my own choices for what's best for me. What you were doing is blackmailing me off a space that I'm comfortable with, and your friends are making it worse with everything they are saying. I understand I wasn't good to you, but what you're doing isn't inherently good either. I thought about it a lot, and I don't think being forced to leave a space where I'm comfortable and have a great people around me is what I need. I know I need to grow and become a better person, but I need to do that on my own. Ease myself into a balanced online/IRL life, not just completely leave. I know I also need to work on my friendships, but I can do that on my own. If you want to post the thread and tell people things about us that isn't any of their business, do it. But I guess I just don't understand why you're making a thread to educate people about me when it was just personal things that made you and your friends not like me. If you want to make other people not like me, that's your business. And why I think quitting is the wrong idea for me because I know myself more than you do. That's a very valid response, by the way. I want what's best for you, but if you don't get offline and abandon all your friends, I'm gonna publicly humiliate you. What a fucking crazy person, dude. This is not an isolated experience. Multiple of my mutuals have had Rowan come on to them and move way too fast. Some of my mutuals have stories which ring eerily, then say no. Say, this is too fast for me. I think we're looking for different things. Yeah, it's not gonna work. She doesn't seem like somebody that wouldn't respect that. I feel as though some of these events could have been prevented by seeing the signs. The signs of what? But I think in a situation like that, you are constantly trying to getting attention, so you're tricked into thinking it was healthy. That's what manipulation is. That's what manipulation is, whether intentional or not. I even shared stories of my own to Rowan. One where I told her about someone I knew vaguely online killed herself, and it impacted me. This was due to her telling me no one would miss me and alluding to suicide. She's not referring to Rowan here, she's referring to the friend that took their life. And she's saying, this is what my friend said. Rowan responded like this. Wait, this is about Rowan, I think. Oh, okay, so Rowan is apparently suicidal, and this girl's invoking the story of her friend who took her life to try and talk Rowan down. Everyone was worried about her. Everyone was worried about her. Then 2 hours later, her girlfriend logged onto her account and told everyone she was gone, and I felt absolutely awful despite the fact I barely knew her. So I think you're underestimating the impact it would have, let alone the people who care about you so much. I just think it would be best. People don't care about me, and that's okay. Stop lying. So many people care about you. Do you? Okay. Before she Okay, so you're now sharing the fact she was allegedly suicidal to now use against her. Got it. Before she deactivated, I told her something I don't tell many people. A story I won't detail here, but it bears similarities. Love bombing and coming on. That's not what people misuse. Love bombing is not when you give someone an excessive amount of love. It's when you give someone an excessive amount of love as an intentional tactic at manipulation, so they're then more likely to tolerate abusive behavior. I told her I'm better now. Time away can help someone grow. I was vulnerable and she threw it back in my face. Thank you for reading this absurdly long thread. I hope this sheds light on Rowan as a person. Rowan is not a person I wish to interact with anymore, and she's entangled me in so much. I'm just glad I'm able to extract myself from it now. I tried to help, but she doesn't care. Okay, and then obviously Twitter responded to this horribly, and the user's now privated, and everyone's on Rowan's side, so good stuff. Alright, that's gonna end the stream. I gotta do some shit. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, and I'll be live tomorrow. Peace, bitches.